That motherfucker signed to OVO.
He was part of QC or 300, but I think it was QC because I think it was fucking.
He was on QC.
He's either signed to OVO or I won't say the alternative, but like, why are you walking the OVO train if you're not signed to OVO?
Because he fucks with his mans. What's wrong with that? We did just see Lil Wayne in the XO chain this year, didn't we?
Yep.
That might be his man.
I'm just saying.
Vince Staples too. Mm-hmm. Really?
We gonna get to Wayne. We gonna get to Wayne. But before we do that, we got some shit to get to. Welcome everybody to episode 43 of the Rap Cave podcast. I'm your host Chris Platte here with some of the dopest people, a great collection of people.
Come on now.
My dogs, Birdie. We got Brice
Harper.
Bryce Harper.
You come out swinging.
Bryce Harper. Do we got a nickname for
Mr. Rashad?
No, it's not none of that. See, this dude, we're not doing that. Just Zay. Just Zay is fine.
Isaiah Thomas.
No. Just Zay is fine. Zay is fine.
I'll find something for him. I'm gonna give.
Y'all
Zay is fine for right now.
There was a Detroit legend that was Isaiah named Zeke. Like let's just do that for now. That's what I'm saying. Let's just
call me that though.
Yeah, let's just Zeke. All right, cool. That we're on that rock. We're not. We're not gonna put their name. Listen, we got a great episode. We're gonna talk about.
Whoa! We forgetting about one of the most component pieces of the motherfucking pod.
On the ones and twos,
the real deal behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? We putting in that work. You know what I'm saying? The man of the hour.
Let's let him know.
Hey, put some respect on Macintosh. You heard?
Yeah.
That's Big Apple teams.
Yes, sir.
Crisp Apple's taking a bite out the competition. You feel me?
Cody now real twizzy shit.
Hey, shout out to him, but like, I should get like. If he got 30 seconds, like,
Chris.
I
got do that your damn self.
You want an intro, Chris?
You Mike. You do it yourself.
That's a gift and a curse. Y'all know who I am.
No, you left my man's out. We had
somebody give Chris
an extraordinary introduction. You know what I'm saying? The man behind us.
We're gonna up the budget. We're gonna get drops and all that. We good. Listen, man, we got a lot of rap stuff to talk. We got the big three, and I think this is going to be the last conversation, at least of 2024. Probably. We also have an episode next week, so who knows. But we're gonna talk about the big three. We're going to talk about new music that came out. We're going to talk about a lot of shit. But before we get to all that, we got to talk about the shit that's been in the news that has, like, just fascinated me.
Yo.
This motherfucker murked a CEO of a company and wrote bullets. Wrote on the bullet.
There's some real 007 type shit going on, bro.
I swear to God, that's some real Mission Impossible type fucking.
Woo!
I mean, maybe it's just because I got my PS5 this week, but I didn't know that we were taking GTA to the streets for real, for real. This man murked somebody in broad daylight.
That's what they recreated
in New York City.
I saw No, it wasn't broad daylight. It was like 6:30 in the morning. It was still dark out.
Man, it's still early. People still going to work at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I did see they literally recreated it like frame for frame in GTA, which is really funny. Like it was so, like down to the fucking to the T. And what's funny is which we didn't talk about earlier when we were already like kind of discussing this is there was a dude just getting money out the ATM.
Yeah.
And the guy who the assassin was just like, nah, you good, bro. Like,
yeah.
That guy turns around. He looks and is like, oh no, and the assassin just looks him off like, go on.
You good? Yeah. Like
that motherfucker is cold blooded, and that's where I'm like, my biggest takeaway from that footage is this ain't his first rodeo.
Oh no, bro.
This is calculated.
That is not his first body, and probably not his last, considering he ain't been caught yet.
The motherfucker, damn good.
He seems like he's too good. I don't think he's gonna get caught. So honestly,
crazy thing about all this, man, is it reminds me of this TV show that I watched, and I was telling y'all this about this earlier. Y'all gotta go on Netflix, watch The Blacklist. Everything that goes on in that show reminds me of this, of like everything what's going on right now. Like it's too much going on in the background for just a simple like he shot him 3 times. Now we can never find this dude ever again. Like, come on, bro. There's something deeper than that, bro.
The funniest part about all this is that if it were up to the court of public opinion, which a lot of things are, but not actually, that motherfucker will be walking free tomorrow.
Yo, they
said, hey, bro, you know what? God bless him. He's doing the Lord's work. Matter of fact, there's this other CEO that's been like just pointing out. They're just pointing out like
somewhere living his best life with a lady boy.
You think so?
Also, I just want to point out that for anybody who has to buy their own insurance, this is still the open enrollment period. This happened right in the middle of open enrollment. That shit ends on the 15th. So prices may be going down real quick.
Yeah, that switched the whole. I mean, look, hey, if a martyr was ever to actually work, I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Didn't it said the second one was they found the second one.
Yeah, So Chris, I don't know if you can find it, but there was a second assassination that happened, and I'm curious as if it was the same chain of command or if it was a different company.
Man, I'm telling y'all gotta watch The Blacklist. As soon as y'all see the show, y'all be like, man, he wasn't lying. This is exactly. It's like scenes coming out of this freaking show, bro. It's so cool.
He said it's so cool.
It's cool. I find it.
No,
I tried to watch that show, but like I watched like the first 2 episodes. That shit was just boring. I was end up.
It's so.
Everybody always say like, bro, you gotta get past. That.
Yeah, bro, you just gotta get past the first couple, bro. I'm gonna try one. And get active, bro. I'm telling you. I'm gonna try. And you like the show just like everybody in there just grows on you.
I think.
That's how it was for Snowfall when I watched Snowfall.
I think
I've been thinking about watching Snowfall too. It seems like it's
so
show.
fucking good, bro. Yeah. I cried the last
Here's the
episode.
thing: the fact that
I be tearing up at shows all the time.
The fact that he wrote on the bullets is like a whole nother level. Like that gained my respect to where it's like, all right, dog, you got it.
And people are just like, that's fine if we don't find him.
Yeah, no. Like I'm saying, bro.
Literally everyone's like,
if Twitter was the police, this man would have a statue. Not only would he be free, he'd have a statue. They brought up all the stats of all the claims this man denied, all the everything. They were like, yeah, bro, like murked him in broad daylight, and they're like, hell yeah. Tell his kids. They were savage about it.
I don't know why people think just because a motherfucking CEO getting murked that somebody who ain't just equally as evil ain't gonna fucking be right there just to do the same.
Well, that's why I want Chris to look up the next assassination because it's like
I'm trying to find it, but
yeah, because like I don't know if it's like the next line in command and they're just gonna keep going down until they get the person that they think.
Yeah, all I know is if I'm the CEO of anything, I'm rolling around with 2 cock diesel ass niggas. Y'all better eat these bullets.
Two linebacker ass motherfuckers. Listen, calling Terry Tate
type shit. Yeah, that's crazy.
That was fucking nuts.
It's just been
crazy.
a year.
He just dropped the fucking backpack in Central Park apparently with all the fucking evidence in it.
Yeah,
like, y'all ain't gonna catch me.
Listen, like I said, bro.
Hey, that wasn't his first rodeo.
Listen, I had
Debo military.
I had Debo and Big Worm with me. Standing front and center. Big Worm. Big Perm. I
don't give a damn. Didn't he say in the movie? What up, Big Germ? I mean, Big Worm.
The way he handled that wasn't a rookie.
Yeah.
No, he's been doing this.
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say.
John Wick. Yeah,
that is some real John Wick shit.
That's some real John Wick, Jason Bourne type shit. Hey, I love those movies.
Man,
those are
the
great
Bourne movies are great,
bro. It's crazy because I used to watch them when I was little, so I don't really remember them thoroughly. But the movies used to be cold.
I never seen the John Wicks, which I do got. I got to sit through them and shit.
What's the last one? Well, actually, I didn't see the last one. But the third one. They had a basketball player. Who was it? I think it was Steven Adams. Might have been Steven Adams. Steve Adams was in.
I think you're right.
John Wick. Yeah, that nigga big as shit. That nigga is big as fuck.
Oh, bro. He had like Steven Adams. I don't know if it's him because I don't actually know the movie. But if it's him, that's fucking nuts because he had like he had like 18 siblings and he like wrestled all of them. Like his story is fucking nuts. Where he's just like, he's like, mate. Like I'm from New Zealand. I whooped all my siblings' ass. Like he's just like, he had the craziest Steven Adams.
Oh no, it was Boban. Yeah.
Shout out Boban, former Piston great. Yeah, shout out Boban. Shout out Boban. Hope he can teach Tobias to shoot because Tobias fucking sucks.
Oh wow.
This is actually crazy. No, now that I'm reading about this, it's like the NYPD is saying like, you know, he's literally like hiding in plain sight. He went, dropped the shit in Central Park and just switched into different clothes and just like started walking down the street like a normal fucking person, bro. Yeah. Like this, bro. He is trained.
And he hasn't been arrested.
I don't think he's gonna be. Honestly, I think he's off.
He's gone, bro.
He's not in New York City.
You're not
anymore,
going to find him anymore.
Gone.
They already
he
said
is
that
already off the country.
They said he left the city 2 days ago.
Whatever the CEOs, we need to see what their party is like for election type shit, and then we gotta blame the opposite party. So I feel like this is what's going on.
Y'all coming from the summer of what?
This some real Green Party shit.
Listen, if he voted for Trump and he over there in New York, oh yeah, he's fucked. He is fucked. Yo.
No, there's some Green Party shit that's got written all over it. The fucking Tea Party. This is they're
I'm not saying that they should do it, but if Allstate and Progressive really want to make a dope ass fucking Super Bowl commercial,
catch them.
I'm not gonna lie to you. If you go do some kind of hitman shit, that'd be kind of hilarious.
And you can be protected from mayhem.
Protected from mayhem.
Nah, you like me.
Hey, you know that. Who that one dude?
Whole time it was Logan.
Oh my god, bro! Nah, who the one dude that be in all them insurance commercials? He be getting the car crash.
Yeah, the Mayhem dude. Mayhem.
Yeah, Mayhem. Bro, yes, they
Mayhem
need to do a
it, bro.
commercial with him. Just let him get shot about 3 times. Just lay on the ground.
Yo, they gotta give me a paycheck. If anity take that idea, they gotta give me a check, bro.
They gotta give me part of it too.
Oh, that's
you can be better
fucking
protected
great.
from mayhem,
like
me.
That'd be crazy as hell, dude.
That's
have
fucking
Jake from
nuts.
State Farm pull up in like a little some secret agent shit.
That's so crazy, bro. He was killed on 54th Street. It's literally like he was killed in Times Square, bro. It's like it's the center of the fucking universe.
That's
like,
what I'm saying. It's not broad daylight, but it is.
He wasn't even in Brooklyn. He wasn't in like the lower. He was in fucking Times Square. Basically.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
it may not have been broad daylight, but it is still early enough where he is still
there's
walking.
There's
to
enough
a
people
meeting.
walking around.
There are enough people in New York right there to have seen where there's multiple witnesses.
In that neighborhood, there is never a time where there's not people walking around.
There's also never not cameras.
Yeah, and that whole area is completely under surveillance. Again, it's damn near Times Square. It's 54th Street. It's like that's where every fucking corner of every block is under surveillance.
I guarantee you, if that CEO listened to NBA YoungBoy, he'd still be alive right now. There's no way he ain't walking around without the stick.
He just needed a daily dose of crash out music.
There's no way he'd be dead right now.
They needed a daily dose of some crash out music. He'd be straight.
He would have been walking around suited up.
Yeah, he had to listen to
30 magazines, switch on it.
As ridiculous as that is, I know you're not wrong.
You know what
Because
I'm
if he listened
saying?
to Young Boy, he would probably still be alive.
He'd still be alive. Listen.
Hey, listen, the only young boy fan I ever met that actually like exists in real life works security, and I was like, that is perfect. That is perfect. That story writes itself.
Yeah, that's great. The pistol had an integrated suppressor, so like it's a gun that's built with a suppressor. It wasn't even like a detect. Bro, he was planning this shit out. He knew what he was doing.
He was,
bro.
and you know what's crazy? He was probably watching this man for weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To know exactly where he was gonna be on that.
That
day,
motherfucker will
time.
probably walk to his morning coffee
he was
spot.
bored.
Because he got
everywhere.
It says he got off the
That's it.
He got off the F train at 57th Street. He walked 3 blocks and then shot it. Like he knew where the fuck this guy was gonna be.
He knew when this man was going to a meeting. He knew this man was not going to be late to this meeting.
But listen though,
Everybody
if
change your
it's a
schedules
snake
up,
on
bro.
your team, he could have gave the location.
No,
it ain't got to be no follow.
Don't be routine, bro. Do a bunch of random shit. Bro.
He could have texted his man.
That's why
throw the ops off.
That's why I'm always on CPT.
He could have texted his man.
or don't do shit that would make people want to kill you.
He could have texted his man.
Or that.
Yo, I'm about to go drop this package off.
Don't
you know
have
what
a
I'm saying?
routine.
His man's could have texted it, man, off the hey,
The
yo, he
eagle
about to
is
be here.
landed type
Yeah,
shit.
you know what I'm saying? Listen.
But yeah, even NYPD I guess discredited the claims of like him hopping on a city bike. So like Literally, the only thing they have is they found a backpack with the evidence in it in Central Park, all white, clean of prints, anything. There's literally nothing to go off of.
That man's gone, bro.
Yeah, he's gone.
Even the NYPD said, good move switching clothes in Central Park. Like, literally. Like,
Give that man
the
a round of
NYPD's
applause,
like,
man.
all right, you got us. Like,
That man is the greatest at hide and seek.
Oh, God.
You ain't beating that motherfucker. Bro,
That
growing
man
up,
was a menace on the playground.
growing up, you ever like, you got it. Like, that was him.
Actually,
That was him.
have you or a loved one remembered anybody from back when you were a kid that was really good at hide and seek? If so, the NYPD got some questions for you. Because that may be that person.
He's.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Actually, speaking of kid shit, I was thinking of the game. You ever remember that game, Cops and Robbers?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That game was a little fucked up, wasn't it?
Realistically.
It tried to it teaches cops bad tendencies from the beginning.
The way people playing Cops and Robbers are it's just like
It do,
they
but
was getting a little too in
they
character.
don't really teach you shit when the robbers always getting away.
on the ground.
You know what I'm saying? You're the robbers, your older brother, you the cops and shit. Like, oh, come on, all right. This is unfair. Nah, this hitman playing some Where's Waldo ass shit. I ain't gonna lie. He real
I'm
nice
here
with
for it,
I
bro.
ain't never found Waldo on none of them games.
All I'm saying is, Hitman. Whenever they come out with the next Hitman game,
He
you
better
got some
be
big
there.
shoes to fill because real life has been.
We gotta put bro in a COD skin on Call of Duty. Definitely, like he gotta be a COD skin, the hoodie and all, with the gun. The
We
gun
still
gotta
don't
be a
know what he
blueprint.
accurately looks like,
You know
though.
what I'm saying? Well,
We
we
could
kind
just
of.
It's
assume.
like 3 different descriptions of this.
But I ain't see the video. Do you have like a hoodie on or something?
He like a green jacket.
They had
or
the
some
disguise
shit
and
on.
everything.
All right.
It's like
No
one
ski
of him
mask.
like just
He's had on
casually
hoodie.
walking like
Ski
frowning.
mask, yeah.
And
Oh,
there's
yeah, the
another
ski
one
mask.
of him like smiling, and I'm like, these people don't know what this man looks like.
Because they thought they caught him smiling at Starbucks, but they don't know.
If I'm him and I knew like, cause I feel like he know he's gonna get it. Ain't no way I'm about to do some shit and not think I'm about to get away. If I knew I was about to get away, I'm looking at all the cameras. You know what I'm saying? They'll be all over the news. It's me. Peace up. A-Town down.
That's the purpose of getting away.
Speaking of criminals, Andrew Schultz.
I was gonna say I was waiting for the transition.
Andrew Schultz. He made some jokes about Kendrick Lamar on his podcast, I believe, the Fighting Art podcast. And he had said that he would, if given the chance,
Rape Kendrick Lamar.
Well,
not his words. His words were make love.
And
to
he
Kendrick
also
Lamar.
said it was up to Kendrick
why?
if it was going to be consensual or not. It was up to Kendrick.
Yeah, it was Kendrick's choice to decide whether it was consensual or not, because this scrawny man that weighs a buck 10 soaking wet is apparently going to dominate another man. I get it. Kendrick's small. First case. Kendrick's small. I'm not gonna defend the physics of it, but I'm just saying.
Are we like? Why are you sitting here giving a long explanation? That is weird as hell.
You see what happens when you let a 6 foot nigga know he's 6 foot? They say shit like this. This is the type of shit that happened. But
That's why Matt keeps trying to tell me.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought that shit was kind of funny, just a little bit.
Listen.
He's
So
weird, bro.
so here's
He's
what I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say this because I saw a whole bunch of people talking about, oh, you do what to a black person, blah blah blah. I heard, oh, this white person wants to do this. Now keep in mind, I don't think Andrew Schultz is funny. I think he's a cornball. Mm-hmm. I think he's a certified cornball. And
like
matter of fact, I'll double down on that. I don't know of a personal or of a celebrity that has had worse music takes than Andrew Schultz.
Oh, bro, he a comedian. I wouldn't even take nobody outside of music.
Right. But I'm just saying why I personally don't fuck with him. Is one, I think he's sometimes corny, and two, you have terrible hip hop opinions. That's not a recipe for success.
I mean,
with
right
Chris
now,
Platte.
his cultural cachet is all based off of him being friends with Charlamagne.
Yeah, being Charlamagne
Right.
and brilliant
But-
idiots. Yeah, exactly.
But what I'll say is
Flagrant
this.
is a good. Pretty
What
straight
I'll say is
podcast.
this.
That whole CB having on there is pretty ass.
Y'all have to understand. Yeah, no, his whole clique of people is whack. But
I think Andrew Schultz's stand-up is fine, but that's just that whole
his stand-up's pretty funny.
Y'all are interrupting my point. Who cares how mid this motherfucker is? Let's talk about the fact that he's a comedian. Mm-hmm. End of story to me. He talked all this shit about Kendrick, blah blah. You don't need to go on this progressive stance of like, oh wow, this is a white person talking about a black person, blah blah, whatever. Not my place to speak on whether that's right or wrong. However, let's contextualize the fact that this man is a comedian, albeit not a funny one, but he is professionally a comedian. Mm-hmm. So who cares what he said? He said some jokes. If you laughed at him, cool. If you didn't, whatever. Who cares? He's a mid comedian. Who cares? He's not that funny. His podcast sucks.
I think that's the thing about it. Because you start about when he first, the whole thing that started it all, the whole first comment about the fact that if you, the kind of the quote unquote white man glow up when they start dating a black man, white.
So he's dating Charlamagne?
What's up?
Are you saying he's dating Charlamagne?
I mean, he might be, but
yeah, Charlamagne might.
You never know. But yeah, the whole joke started about him talking about when a white man dates a black woman, how they they get a fade and they grow their beard out, and he was saying, oh yeah, well they get a fade because they start losing their hair and they grow a beard to start protecting their face. The joke wasn't funny, and even in the context of him saying it, it was trying to ear horn that into the thing to the point where the host of the podcast he was on later came out and tried to diss himself. They're like, yo, we were just laughing nervously.
It was his podcast.
No, the first time it was on someone else's podcast. When he
talking about two black dudes?
Well,
yeah. He was asking questions?
That's when it first came up that before Kendrick responded to it, supposedly. Yeah, Kendrick never said his name.
Because that's where it starts that Kendrick
also
said.
The audacity.
Which, and to be fair, to contradict your point a little bit, Platte, who cares? Kendrick fucking cares, clearly. Because he put it on his album.
Or does he? Kendrick,
bro, on that same song. Yeah, but even if you don't say a name, who was worthy for Kendrick to even mention that talking point for him to even put that out? I mean, it will only be Andrew Schultz.
I think Kendrick.
He's not the only white comedian that's talking about black women.
There's no other white comedians who went viral within this past few months.
Bill Burr, not he didn't. He hasn't disrespected, but he would be on that level of he would be above Andrew Schultz.
Nobody was offended by Bill Burr's jokes. Bill Burr didn't go viral for a black woman comment. The only person who went viral for that was Andrew Schultz. We gotta be for real. We know who we talking about. He's not. I don't care if he's being mysterious about it.
Even if he disses,
I'm not talking. I'm going about what
I'm saying. But here's my thing about it though. If you ain't gonna come with me directly, that whatever Kendrick did, Andrew Schultz took in a way that made him crash the fuck out to the point where he's talking about making consensual or unconsensual love to Kendrick Lamar.
To be fair, don't you think the internet played a hand in that? Because I'm sure when Kendrick first dropped them bars, everybody was alluding to Andrew Schultz.
Yeah, I mean, because Kendrick ain't gonna go out in an interview and say, "Yeah, that shit was at Andrew Schultz because Andrew Schultz's light changed him." But at the same time, it doesn't mean that he wasn't dissing him.
It does. I mean, he could have been, but I just like the fact in the same song, he calling out Snoop by name. He calling out Lil Wayne by name. Mm-hmm. He calling out Nas by name. Now he alludes to stuff about J. Cole, about
Oh,
J.
that's
Cole's
what
apologies.
the blank lines are about. I'm here to double and triple down on that.
He alludes
I've
to
had
Drake,
3 weeks on that.
And he alludes to Andrew Schultz, but he don't call them out by name. Basically saying it's almost like him releasing the Hard Part 6. He bypassing you, not even giving you the time of day. He gave Lil Wayne the time of day.
Which is why it's fair for Andrew Schultz to respond through jokes. And you know what he did? And I think he was funny in this instance. He's not funny in his career, but he's funny in this instant. I actually enjoyed his disses. I actually like that was funny. That was funny to me the way he was he didn't say the word rape. He didn't say certain words. He was like, I'll make love to him. I'll have my way with him.
How do you win a back and forth exchange of words with a comedian?
Don't engage.
You don't.
You can't. Yeah. So that's why you don't say a name, because it's gonna be he gonna be on your ass. Literally for the rest of it. He's gonna be on your ass.
The platform of comedy.
Because his job depends on it.
The platform of comedy and also the opportunity. Kendrick Lamar can only come back out and respond via bars. He come back out.
He
in
come out and
tweets
respond however he
or
wants to. He
in,
just
like,
chooses not to
interviews.
respond how others may respond.
No, because who cares?
What you mean? No, you telling me he can't send out a tweet?
I mean, but come on.
I'm not talking. I'm talking about what he about
Yeah.
to say. What you mean? No.
What, me?
Yeah. What you mean? No.
I just mean this. Okay, so he dissed Andrew Schultz. I don't think anybody's denying that he dissed Andrew Schultz. What I'm saying is this: Andrew Schultz can respond, but that response doesn't provoke a response from Kendrick. He can if he wants to.
Right, no.
He can't. Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Honestly,
I'm saying he can't
everybody's
respond,
looking
though.
at Andrew Schultz more.
He
as a
ain't gotta
clown
wait
for
to no
saying
album or
bullshit
nothing to
like that.
respond.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the
Andrew
jokes.
Schultz is a straight clown, especially for saying that.
Cause,
Why do you go straight to
Because
that?
those jokes. Listen, I'll say this: those jokes were funny. Woke mob, get at me, whatever. Because Listen, I thought cancel culture was dead. The closest I ever seen it revived was Andrew Schultz. Like they were trying to bury him. I don't know. That's what I've seen on my time.
Yeah,
People
Because
trying
you
to bury
can't
all
cancel
but like
somebody
you can't.
who doubles down on it. Just,
Yeah.
It's like, all right, what at this point? he's
Now-
not gonna
Well,
stop.
honestly, I can see that because
Now, Andrew Schultz's jokes were good in this context. He's not funny overall. Those are two separate things. He was funny in this moment.
Well, nah, actually, nah.
He's not funny overall.
In what moment though?
His podcast is whatever. His stand up is good though.
In
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
moment?
I-
was
I've
funny?
seen his
I don't,
stand-up.
I don't see him being even close to cancel. I feel like anybody who go against Kendrick is like damn near about to be canceled. Like damn near Wayne was borderline like, yo, we about to get this nigga the fuck out of here for
I mean,
Kendrick.
Andrew-
This nigga can't perform. Fuck his last 10 years, 20 years of motherfucking
I
music.
think Andrew Schultz is going like the kind of like the Ben Shapiro route though. Like you just say enough stuff where at this point it doesn't matter. You can
He's
say
just
whatever
waiting
you
for
want.
something to
Yeah,
catch.
yeah.
You
When
just-
you
at this
point, yes and
inflate
no,
your
but you
platform
see-
enough, then
but
you
you-
can't even
there's-
pick apart the problems in it because there's too many.
The cancel culture is literally like only inside of the culture when it comes to this point. You know what I'm saying? Because like Andrew Schultz got like a big ass following. Like he literally didn't he sell out Madison Garden for one of his stand-ups?
He's done it at Madison. I don't know if he sold it out, but he's done Madison Square Garden.
He's a very big comedian.
He's a very successful comedian.
I think he did.
And it's a smart for him. It's a smart marketing
But
move.
listen, bro, it's not hard to be a good comedian. You just got to be smart and know what to talk about and know how to relate with the audience. It's not hard.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like
I do disagree. Comedy. I'm not defending him, but I'm saying comedy is not.
No, comedy. Believe you me, like, because I tried doing it.
Listen,
and
they
I
didn't
still-
try to-
I
But,
still do it from time to
you are
time.
right. Like if you check these certain boxes, it's made in the
As
same
long as you
place.
got the personality. Let's look at freaking Matt Rife. All he does is just smile at bitches all day.
I fucking hate him. I'm over him. Dog.
All he does is smile at hoes all day, and they just go and eat that shit up.
And he goes, "Oh, you're Mexican." Like that's it.
I'm
That's
not
all-
gonna
that's his
say
whole
I'm not gonna say more on Matt Rife. What I'll say to keep it on pace
topic,
is
yeah.
that Kendrick Lamar is my favorite artist. Andrew Schultz is a comedian that's not funny. I found his jokes funny. I don't know, like everybody shut
Which
the fuck
one?
up. No, both things are true.
Make love to him jokes.
That's funny.
Wait,
I was cracking up.
No, which one are you
Kendrick-
talking about though? Like the slap the fuck out of, or are you talking about the one where he was talking about making love to Kendrick?
What was
Which
he
joke
said?
did you
He
find
said he
funny?
was gonna slap Kendrick.
No, he said when he was talking about them black girls, he's like niggas want to grow a beard just in case they get slapped the fuck out of.
Oh no. I'm not talking about. I'm only talking about the Kendrick stuff.
Okay.
I'm only talking about the Kendrick stuff. The Kendrick stuff to me was funny. I forwarded it to several friends.
I mean, the whole quote is for anybody who doesn't have it. Kendrick has people in security. They'll destroy me. But Kendrick, I'll make love to him. There's nothing he could do about it. Just Kendrick Lamar, I would make love to him. The only thing he could do is decide if it's consensual or not. The only thing he could physically do to stop that, besides put his legs in the air and choose a position.
Yeah.
How is that funny?
Bro, I was gonna lie. I was lying, laughing.
I was
I
laughing.
like,
In my opinion, that's just
No,
a foul thing to say.
I
'cause
think
if
you-
that was about a woman,
I think it was so funny because like when I first seen the caption, like he was
Yeah.
responding to Kendrick, I'm like, how is he about to go about this? And then when
No, I
he
think
went
it's
and
funny.
started doing it, I'm like, bro, that's just.
I think-
it's
I
kind
I
of
don't
funny,
find
right?
rape jokes funny.
Yeah,
but
me
that's
neither,
just
bro.
me.
That's weird.
He didn't say rape.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you got to decide if it's consensual or not.
Yeah, you gotta decide. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's.
If somebody said that about your mom, would you think it's funny?
Yeah, he's just trying to get his get back.
If somebody sat right in front of you and said, "I'll make love to you right now," it's up to you for the consent.
And you can't do nothing about it.
What is your next?
If I made a joke about beating a bitch in the alley, it wouldn't be that funny. And if I said it about your mama, it wouldn't be that funny. But it's how you put it together. You know what I'm saying?
If somebody said that to you, dead to your face, was like, it's up to you if it's
I'm here.
What you doing?
No, he wouldn't. But the thing is, he wouldn't say that to Kendrick face. That's why I was like, you kind of got to get it off where you at.
He literally prefaced it with Kendrick's people would kill me. I'm not tough. Blah blah blah. But if I was one-on-one with Kendrick in the room, that was literally his whole
exactly.
his whole preference.
But
now, however. Listen, this all equates to me as this, and then we can move on because we can get to actual good discussions. But this all equates to me as a blind squirrel finding a nut. Congratulations, Andrew Schultz. You had a good joke.
Well, either way you look at it to me, you said something that's gonna get you enough attention to last you through the end of the year. And after that, the people who fuck with you are still gonna fuck with you. Not even the end of the year. And the
motherfuckers ain't gonna forget about this in a week.
This is my problem with the whole little Andrew Schultz thing, because we've been talking about this about 4 or 5 minutes, and we didn't even get to the underlying message of what he was actually trying to get across. So when he got to the end, his whole thing was that you are endorsing or embracing certain people who have done XYZ to black women that we wouldn't approve of, but yet you over here calling out a comedian. So like, but jokes is a joke, right? You gotta get past a joke, whether you like it, whether you find it funny or not. We should actually get to the underlying point of what he was going, what he was getting at. Because the joke is subjective. However you feel about it, however you feel about it. So, but the underlying point is what we should get to.
I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. Because to me, before we move on, look, not as Kendrick's defense attorney, but like, looking at how Kendrick defended those specific people, it was specifically he was defending the art, not the humanity. Now I get it. Kendrick operating the way he operates on like this moral high ground of like, I am a person that is above the industry bullshit. I'm not with the politics. I'm all about the people. All of these things that Kendrick has made a career off of, built an image off of. I'm not denying any of those things. But what I'm saying is, in those instances, he was defending the artistry, not the human. And he said it himself. He made a whole album about being a contradiction, and damn. So I'm not trying to be his defender. I'm not trying to be his, because I think what you're bringing up is valid. And I think what Andrew Schultz said was to some extent valid, but I also think that becomes null and void when Kendrick's his whole career, he spoke on a lot of these issues in his music. So
duality,
how he aligns with certain artists versus his messaging, I feel like he didn't have to put the messages that he put in his music. So to me, I look at it as from a perspective of it is a duality. Like he made a whole album talking about he is a contradiction, and damn, he made a whole album on Mr. Morale. I'm not your savior. Blah blah.
It's Good Kid, Mad. I mean, it's the continuation of the Good Kid, Mad.
Yeah,
City.
I'm listen. If you wanna crucify him for being like you're a fucking hypocrite, I can't knock you. All I'm saying is he's been open about his hypocrisy and looking at it from the perspective that he looked at it when it came to X, when it came to R. Kelly, specifically X. He was defending the artistry. He was defending Spotify being like, we're removing you because you are this POS. Mm-hmm. And Kendrick was saying the art has to stay. Mm-hmm. So to me, I feel like it's a good conversation, and I'm here for both sides of it. But hey, you've been raising your hand for a while. I'll let you talk.
If you knew that let's say I had a girlfriend, you knew I was physically abusive to her, like knowingly, would you still let me sit here next to you and say that you let me sit here next to you because you like the work I do on this podcast, or you would not work with me because you know what I do behind the scenes?
The Brockhampton argument.
Well, look what happened there.
Yeah. I mean, personally,
Amir Van is still nowhere to be found.
I look at it as I look personally. I wouldn't like to associate myself with anybody that does those things personally, and I'm not trying to PR this. I'm just keeping it a buck. I would like to separate myself from anybody that does any of those heinous things. But I'm not saying I'm not Kendrick. Maybe I operate on a higher moral ground than Kendrick. Whatever. It's not my I don't care who's operating on a higher moral ground.
My whole thing saying is like defending the artistry, whatever, you want to keep music on Spotify, all right, cool, whatever. But if you is walking up on stage with a nigga who is known to have abused their significant other, that's like a big difference. I understand that Dr. Dre did like have a big help in Kendrick rise, but it's like...
Well, Kodak too. And he had Kodak on the last album. I'm just saying, as a Kendrick fan, I'm just playing devil's
advocate.
Well,
that's a slippery slope, and that's why I'm so, not to just derail this to a whole nother conversation, but that's why I'm disappointed in Drake. Is he had all the ammo in the world to bury Kendrick, and he fucking didn't.
Yeah, no, domestic abuse ain't enough.
I think the bottom line, as I'm sorry, I don't mean.
Go ahead, no, do your thing.
But as a very big Kendrick fan, it's also what I will say is practice what you preach.
Listen,
that's what I think it boils
domestic
down
abuse. Domestic abuse is always gonna be a joke, and in black community where there's bitches out here that actually like to get slapped. There's bitches out here that like to get choked. There's bitches out here that actually likes to be abused because they feel that signifies love. So it's like, it's gonna be hard to take that seriously when it's like,
whether that's right, but it's like conditioning, you know?
Yeah, it almost is like conditioning. But on the other hand, when it comes to like pedophilia, that's always frowned upon. And
some of you motherfuckers need therapy. Not y'all here. I'm talking about
but in general,
people back home.
Right, no, because like a few weeks ago, I was on Facebook or whatever, and I seen a video, and it was a video of this dude beating his girl for whatever reason with his pistol, whatever. I'm like, I quoted, I'm like, this is the kind of dudes y'all like, whatever. And then this one girl commented, she was like, yeah, with some emoji, like she kind of like embracing that. So I was like, it's really females out here that like that type of shit, and don't see nothing wrong with it because they think that's how some men express love.
Well, I mean, not to continue to kind of just pull out of that, but I will say that the funniest part of this whole thing with Andrew Schultz to me had to be Punch's response to Schultz from TDE. He said, wait, in his quote, I know what you said. Wait. I know as a black man who's involved in hip-hop music that we're a bit slow and don't really understand sarcasm and humor. But did my guy just say he wanted to sleep with Dot? That was funny. That was funny to me.
Now that is funny.
Yeah, that ain't really funny.
That was funny as fuck. Yeah.
You said what?
That wasn't really that funny to me, but that's what I'm saying. Jokes are super subjective.
It's super subjective, but to me, I think that's a great way for him.
That's
to,
why. That's why I was trying to get us to get past that. Like, but y'all think it's funny, y'all don't think it's funny.
Yeah, but I think it's facts. Andrew Schultz isn't funny. Anyways,
but I think the point to me, the whole thing is it brings a moment of levity to whatever the conversation and discord is back and forth. That's still a good moment of levity. To me, a good moment of levity. That's
still a good point, though, because whether we throwing shots or not at each other.
What was the good point?
It's still a very good point.
Where the good point at? Where the good point at?
This dude said he wanted to fuck another man.
Bro, it's so. I don't want to throw no race out there, but
race or not,
I don't want to throw no race
doesn't
out
matter.
there.
Race or not,
listen,
another straight man claimed to be straight. We don't know.
Listen.
Said that he wanted to do.
I support Andrew Schultz at whatever he chooses.
I listen.
I support him in anything that he chooses that isn't comedy, because
this is not an unnatural joke for a man like Andrew Schultz.
Yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say.
I didn't
heard it. I didn't heard it half of my high school career.
And again, a blind
who the fuck you hanging out with? That needs to stop right now.
I think this Andrew Schultz joke was funny. I think this Andrew Schultz joke was funny, and I'm proud of a blind squirrel finding a nut. I'm proud of him.
Well, the messenger apparently Kendrick about to find one too.
Listen, the messenger.
Can we get some podcast?
It wasn't a good messenger, but I think the underlying point he had was a very good point. So, me as a black man, I'm allowed to agree or disagree with it. So I'm agreeing.
Is that the rule?
No, they said what I was seeing on Twitter was that that he had a good point. It was just the wrong person to say it, which is usually good. Which is usually
how it happens.
How it happens in a lot of cases.
Right message, wrong messenger idea.
Yeah, just
because
wrong
people decide.
But I see through the blurred lines. I see through the gray area.
Yeah, exactly.
I know what he meant when he said what he meant. He can manhandle Kendrick, and Kendrick's a hypocrite. That's all he was saying.
Yeah, I agree.
But these 6 foot niggas need to be stopped.
All right, because
hey.
Because
calm down.
You as a 5'10" king.
Yo, I had slamming nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like,
y'all calm down.
Yeah, nah.
Some of y'all getting a little too big for your britches now.
That's why my boys keep trying to tell me I'm 5'11" is because they don't want me to be 6 foot. They think I'd be too powerful.
Type shit. Hey, listen.
The motherfuckers that be asking for uppies be talking about the craziest. Be talking the craziest shit.
Talking about uppies.
They said uppies, not these, bro.
All right, man. We gonna have, I guess, a Kendrick podcast.
Welcome to the Kendrick Cave. This is Chris Bapples, your co-host speaking. And
I feel like y'all just bring me in specifically for Kendrick related stuff, huh?
Well, yeah, because we got.
Hey, he bring y'all niggas in for me. this the real boogeyman on the podcast.
Hey, did you not say Brice was nice?
No, Brice was, bro. Listen,
Yeah, Brice
I gave you hella credit.
Yeah, Brice Harper hit a home run the last pod. Yeah.
Hey, listen, when I seen you brought out the laptop, I'm like, oh yeah, he about
this
business.
dude brought up. He got all
he about business.
the research.
The thing is laptop I'd ever seen.
Listen,
Let's
go. You know this thing. You know that.
Listen,
that's what happened. He be pulling up more shit than I do. He's quicker.
Hold on, bro. This motherfucker bit, bro.
that bitch hard
money
too.
over
No
here.
cap.
You might as well take my seat.
Okay.
No, I swear to God.
We stay ready. Ready.
All right, man. Let's move to another Kendrick subject.
I'm over here with it. All right, I'm reading the script.
Yeah, no, but I was just thinking, because I swear I was thinking, I'm like, because the first episode I came, bro, my notes in my phone filled to the fucking top, like books of fucking notes.
Now
you don't write it down.
Now I'm just over here freestyle.
Now you just don't care.
Listen, I got this shit.
All
All I want to know is what's coming next. Read the pod topics.
That's all I want to know is what's coming
Chris
next.
might say that. Okay, yeah. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that.
Until y'all tell me.
All you need is counterpoints, but now you can.
Hey, listen.
Let's go.
It's free throws at this point. At first, it felt like a half-court shot the first episode. It's free throws at this point. That's all.
All them boys wet,
every
though.
take I have.
Nah, I'm not good at predicting.
Okay,
I'm not gonna lie. I'll be trying though.
Yeah.
I'll be trying. There's a couple episodes I catch you.
Yeah. All right. Kendrick versus Wayne. Let's talk about it because we were supposed to talk about the last pod, but that pod ended up being what it was. Brice Isaiah on that podcast. We had a great time. But we were so caught up. We didn't even get to the Kendrick versus Drake or Kendrick versus Wayne shit. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Kendrick versus Drake. Kendrick versus Wayne shit that it was reported that Kendrick did whacked out murals, right? And he said the irony of it is that my hard work let Lil Wayne down. Whatever though. And then he kept going, he kept rapping.
Whatever.
And then Wayne tried to call Kendrick and Kendrick didn't answer. So my one question is this.
Nope.
My one question is this.
Nope.
How do you perceive Kendrick after that statement? Like, do you look at it as, all right, Kendrick, that was Ho, you should have picked up the call and be like, "Yo, bro," because it ain't that deep. Because the record wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't a diss. So are you stomping the fire and being like, "Hey, before social media gets it, whatever," or are you looking at Kendrick as you know what this motherfucker's been saying for years, specifically this last year, this whole last year has been, "Fuck all of you. I'm not friends with any of you. You can all suck my dick. I'm the best ever." Do y'all respect him for not picking up the call?
Before he gets that, go to the lyrics and just read the lyrics out so we can have it clear. You know what I'm saying?
I said it.
Used to bump the car to 3. I had my rolly chain brown irony. My hard work let Lil Wayne down.
Yeah. It's whatever
though. Yeah, you don't need to pull up no lyrics. I got it.
Yeah, we got it.
I got it on the tip.
Okay, so now the lyrics are contextualized. Fellas,
I'm gonna let y'all take the flow.
you don't want to take it first?
I never take it first. Have you noticed? I always pass it off.
He
to
always
I really want to be last. I really do want to be last.
He wants to be
survey the field.
He want to come in and sweep the floor on the
I gotta see what I'm getting into. You know what I'm saying? That's what I like to see. It's looking like a 4v1. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
I be feeling like Aubrey.
We are not
Drake
against
Graham in this motherfucker.
Aubrey Attorney, shout out to Wack's fucking Twitter.
You don't got enough ghostwriters for that, honestly.
I was saying.
Yeah.
But
I'm Wayne. I freestyle off top.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
all right, well, here's my thing on the whole. Like, because one thing about we just talked about kind of the duality of Kendrick. He talked about the fact that he did not want to pick up the phone. He really is standing on business of what he said. But then again, in the same album, in the Heart Part 6, he says, pick up the phone. Literally what he's saying about if people you actually care about. Here's my thing about the whole situation. One, Lil Wayne wasn't owed the Super Bowl. Outside of the whole thing in L.A. with Dr. Dre and everything, the host city of the Super Bowl has very rarely ever had an artist or headliner from that city. So just because it's in New Orleans doesn't mean Lil Wayne's entitled to it. Exactly. I get that he wanted to do it, but I also don't think he's entitled to it. Right now, is there stuff in the background with Jay-Z and Roc Nation running it? Sure, of course there is, but there's always going to be politics. There's a reason why after the whole Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing, we had 3 or 4 straight years of old white men doing the halftime show because it wasn't risky. There's a narrative. The NFL is not trying to make friends. The NFL is a corporate business. And right now, Kendrick Lamar in hip-hop and culture is one of the biggest names. Right. After everything that happened, there's going to be a natural buzz, which is what they're caring about. The bottom line.
Yeah, that's all they care about. Yeah.
The 32 owners don't care about Lil Wayne or Kendrick Lamar or Drake or anybody else, but they know that name alone rings big. If this were a couple years back when Kendrick dropped Good Kid, Mad City, they would have had Macklemore do the halftime show if they could.
The ceiling can't hold us.
Right, like it's a corporation.
Beat. Yeah.
So to me,
wait up, I got a big.
My whole thing about it was the line that Kendrick dropped was just saying because Lil Wayne was the one who came and said I was hurt. Then he came out again and said, I shouldn't have let myself be that disappointed. Which again, great. I don't know why you feel the need to tell everybody that multiple times.
Well, but that's what I was going to kind of say is that I think, I don't mean to derail your point, but also I did see, like, from what I gathered from what Wayne said about it was that he was disappointed and bored himself for not...
For getting excited about it, for being excited and trying to think...
I don't think he said that.
And not working as hard as he could have. That's
he did.
It's his own fault and his own detriment.
I agree with that. However, I think that Wayne also, while he said those exact words, and I believe that is his sentiment, he also played into the victim card.
I hope them
symbolic. I think both things are true when it comes to Wayne.
Definitely some victim.
I think like there was like right like I do think it was
if it wasn't guaranteed for you to have that position. So
I do think it was partly a poor me. So where I'm at with this is look. I think Kendrick should have picked up the phone. I don't look, I get that you're standing on your image of fuck all these rappers. I'm not friends with nobody. I'm anti-industry. Watch the party die. Blah blah. All these things that. Two things can be true though. Mm-hmm. Wayne can be somebody that you pick up the call for because Wayne is somebody that deserves a statue.
And not to mention
Wayne,
that Kendrick very highly fucking regards, and it's
one
like
of his
public
first
knowledge
mixtape.
of how he's. I mean,
thank you.
You remember the IG live from fucking 5 or 6 years ago when Wayne said he was going to quit rapping, and Kendrick was like, "No, no, you're not fucking allowed to quit rapping." Like,
thank you, and that's where I'm at with it. Is that look, Iris. Two things are true. Mm-hmm. I like the fact that Kendrick is like, oh, I'm anti-industry, I'm this, I'm that, and it's like, well, I believe you are, but like also like, there are some industry benefits to doing what he's doing, how he's moving.
Okay.
So there's that part of it. There's a duality in that, right? Where I'm like, okay, there's a little bit of hypocrisy in that. But at the same time, when it comes to Wayne is one of the legends. Wayne is one of the people you looked up to. Wayne is one of the people that deserves a statue when he is all said when he is all said and done. So Kendrick should have picked up the phone and let Wayne know that it wasn't that. However, Wayne should not have interpreted that as a diss personally. But if he did, he calls Kendrick should have picked up the phone and squash that instantly and been like,
right. It don't matter how Wayne interpreted. The thing is like, you said my name. I'm unsure. I'm calling you. You don't answer.
Fair.
Fuck you, nigga. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Wayne's fully ready. Wayne is fully ready. Not, I wouldn't say ready. Let me not assume. Wayne is fully in his right to launch at Kendrick. Off of that, because if you don't pick up my phone, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm one of the goats. I'm like, Kendrick is one of the goats. I'm one of the goats too. I'm Lil Wayne. Like, we are in the same circle. Kendrick, Wayne, Hove, Nas, whatever. We gonna name a whole bunch of people, but that circle, that small circle, Wayne is also in that circle. Mm-hmm. So if Wayne calls you, you should fucking pick up. That's it.
Do you think if Wayne does drop, do you think it'll be like how do you think that battle will go?
No,
so,
don't,
bro.
Please, no.
Listen, I don't want to see. That's my other point.
No,
that's my other point. Let me cook. Let me cook. Let me cook for 2 seconds, and then let me cook for 2 seconds, and then I'll pass it to the panel.
I would say because I have a retort to that whole
because
talking about too.
That's where I'm at with it. It's like, look, I love Wayne. Wayne is one of my favorite artists. I don't want anybody. I don't want Wayne versus Kendrick for both sides of it because one, Wayne is not a battle artist. Let's be very clear. Wayne is not a battle artist. Wayne is a punchline artist that he hops on a record with you and he might have the best verse, or he probably will have the best verse because he's that cold. But he doesn't have the battle bars that it takes. He doesn't have the strategy.
No.
But also,
he's lost every battle that he's been in. Essentially.
Hold on. Wayne doesn't have that. And then also you gotta think about it from this perspective of what decides a winner and a loser in a battle. It's the court of public opinion. Mm-hmm. Who dominates the court of public opinion? The people on social media. Wayne's era is on social media. However, what's the louder era of social media? It's the Kendrick fans. So even if Wayne were to come at Kendrick correct and deliver a worthwhile response and boom, 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 all that's going to happen is that Kendrick's whole fan base is on the internet. They're going to drown Wayne out. They're going to drown Wayne out. So if I'm Kendrick, I'm looking at it from both perspectives. Wayne is not going to win against Kendrick, not off of talent, not off of media. Kendrick, at the other hand, has universal praise right now because what happened with this battle? It gained the people that were generations removed from hip hop that I had talked to. Kendrick was not their guy. Their guy was Rakim. Their guy was Nas. Their guy was Pac. And guess what they all say? I respect Kendrick for what he did in that battle versus Drake. He whooped Drake's ass and he stood on hip hop culture and blah blah. They have his respect. Kendrick has nothing to gain from a battle versus Wayne because all you're gonna do is alienate that same fan base that you quote unquote gained off of the battle. Kendrick has universal hip hop perspective or hip hop praise, which is why if I'm Kendrick, I'm not battling with nobody. I'm not battling with Big Sean. I'm not battling with Lil Wayne. I'm not battling with M. I'm not battling with Hove. Whoever wants to talk that shit with me, I got the one person that I needed to smoke. I got his head on a silver platter. I served that. That's done.
Everything else is.
I said I was the boogeyman for years, and I proved it. I don't have nothing to gain from any other rap beef ever. Anybody for the rest of the time can talk their shit to me, and you know what I can say? I took your goat, and I served his head on a silver platter. That's it. It's done.
Is this your king?
I think Jay-Z came up to both Drake and Kendrick Lamar was like, all right, whoever wins this beef is headlining the Super Bowl. Good luck.
Hell no. Jay-Z hate Drake.
Well,
he don't want to see that nigga.
But if
anything else.
If Drake, but hold on, I do flip flop.
Like I said, Jay-Z is a supportive hater. He will diss you and hop on your album the next fucking week.
I don't.
He is a supportive hater, and he gonna hop on your album and shit on you at the same time.
All the songs on your album.
Yes, then diss you about a couple months later.
You are factual. However, I do agree.
On top of the fact, it's like he hopping on the album with one of the biggest artists. He gonna diss the biggest artist and hop. He damn near get a double. You getting a motherfucking play from dissing the biggest artist and then hopping on his shit at the same time. You getting so much fucking attention it don't even matter.
Both things are true though. I think Hove is a Drake hater, but I also think that if Drake would have won the battle, it would have been undeniable that he is the Super Bowl headliner.
Nah, he could easily just been like Travis. You know what I'm saying? He could have easily been like, yo, Cardi, everybody. Well, no, not Cardi.
Travis is done.
Okay, let's not get too distracted. Let's stay on the topic of Wayne.
Cardi at the Super Bowl would be crazy.
The NFL. But what I do want to say, now, just as like a quick one-off, is like, when you said the court of public opinion is really who decides, it's like, to be like, that, the situation, like, the very finite situation of rap beef is like, almost more of a democratic process than America even is in itself, because literally the people fucking decide.
There's no electoral college.
There's nobody making the fucking decision.
There's no electoral college.
Yeah, there's nobody behind the scenes who's saying, "Oh, this is that," and that. It's like that's a true representation of.
There's no electoral college unless
what the people think, you know.
There's no electoral college unless you listening to these new Drake potential lawsuits, but. That's beyond the point.
You were off that episode, yeah.
But my whole thing is this. So I want to kind of take us back to the beginning real quick because I had a point to make. And it goes back to what you guys were talking about with Kendrick not picking up the phone. Now, what was the source of all that information that Lil Wayne called Kendrick? Where did we hear that from?
It was Whack, right?
It was Joe Budden's podcast that brought it up.
Yep.
Oh, yes. Whack was the to let me just put this out there. Sorry to interrupt. Whack had responded saying that that he had heard from his sources connected to Kendrick that Kendrick has ammo for Wayne if it goes there. That Kendrick is ready for that particular war. Now again, last one says a lot.
Bro, that's the lamest shit, bro. That's real, bro. That's the lamest shit you can do, bro.
The thing is though, is that the only.
I don't want to progress because I don't want to step on Brice's
I know.
point.
I don't want to step on your point either. But Whack is also cuddled up with Adam 22 and No Jumper, which is all fallacy.
Which is the worst.
So like
honestly,
at the same time, I don't take anything he says at all seriously.
I think Whack is there because I'm pretty sure Adam giving him a big ass cut to keep his platform afloat because like he literally has nobody.
He's the one who's keeping it afloat, but he's also cuddled up with Adam 22.
Also, that keeps Adam 22
but
afloat
is Adam 22 shit, so it don't matter.
All that keeps Adam 22 afloat is that I'm sorry, Brice, we're gonna go back to you. All that keeps Adam 22 afloat is that he interviewed Uzi, X, and Juice at the beginning of their careers, and that's it. And guess what? We are now 10 years removed from that. Now you've turned into Vlad, and you're not with the shit. You literally you abandon rap for fucking talking about
gang
interviewing porn stars.
Well, he been on that, but it's like he's still trying to do the hip hop shit, but it's just not working.
I never
because it's convenient for him.
I'm saying though is that like by Wack associating with him and knowing what he uses his platform for and how he operates is like it's hard for me to trust what he's saying what Wack's saying in these contexts. You know what I mean? But I'm sorry, I really didn't want to derail your point.
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So my whole point, going back to the phone call, was this. So these come from the same sources, which is what I want to make my point about, and why I'm not. While I do agree that in most situations I would pick up the phone and actually be like, "Hey, you the one who was doing this," but this all comes from Joe Budden's podcast where that really blew up. That Wayne called Kendrick didn't respond. When's the last time that we talked about from Joe Budden's sources about a call with someone calling Lil Wayne? And for anybody who doesn't remember, the last thing that came up was that Joe Budden said that Kendrick and Drake had a phone call before all the diss tracks started flying.
Right.
And that basically they were both like, Kendrick was like, "Yo, is this where are you taking this? Where are we doing? Is this where you want to go?" And so if I'm Kendrick, putting myself in this position, I can honestly see who was Drake's mentor throughout this whole thing? Lil Wayne. So if these two things are true, again, we're getting them from the same source. Kendrick already had this call with Drake that did not go well. So now his boss about to call me. I'm not doing the same shit again. Fooled me once, that's on me. You want to play the same thing again?
That's a good ass point.
So again, if we're using the same source,
it's good. Back
Either
information.
way, Lil Wayne is still a legend.
Because let me tell you, let's say I'm beefing against you, and I know that you've been working with Chris, then so you and I have a conversation. I'm like, well, we beefing for real? We about to go? What are we doing? We gonna talk this out? Are we gonna go at each other? Great. And then months later, I get a call from Chris, knowing that he's associated with you. I'm like, yo, I'm wasting my time.
This is my thing, though. I feel that counters that is that this little shit Drake and Kendrick been going on. This has been going on forever. Yeah. Kendrick was already on Carter 5, so I don't understand why now. Because you already knew it was tension to begin with. Wayne already knew it was tension to begin with between Drake and Wayne.
The last project that had both the Drake and Kendrick on it was the Carter 5.
Yeah, and then also, if you want to take it even fucking steps further, it's like, look at who Kendrick, Kendrick is very obviously associated with Tyler. They shot each other, Tyler shouted him out. Kendrick was in Tyler was in Kendrick's music video. All that, and he was at the pop out and all that. Yet Wayne is on every fucking Tyler album, including the one that he just dropped.
Yep. Yeah.
So it's like, how deep does that really go at the end of the day?
It's all industry bullshit.
I don't think that they are. I don't think that the Drake and Kendrick beef really. It could have held that much weight on Wayne for him to. You feel me? Hop on the phone and go crazy, this, that, and the third. I just don't think it is because they already had. They already. I'm saying if that's what he thinking, what was about to happen, which is why he didn't answer the phone. Then it's like I don't think that would have happened because it already been too much tension going on over these.
And I'm not
years.
saying that they were going to be like beefing on the phone, but what I'm saying is in Kendrick's mind.
I'm saying why wouldn't he answer just because he is mentor? When they been had these back and forths and he was already on Carter 5.
They haven't been close during the course of this whole beef. They really haven't. And
they should never be close.
And Lil Wayne was kind of showing his allegiance.
You saying Lil Wayne? You talking about Lil Wayne and Drake?
No, Lil Wayne and Kendrick.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should never really be that close to begin with, anyways.
So, but I mean,
they've been cool over time because back then it was all subliminal. It wasn't.
Well, really, honestly, back then it was more so one-sided beef.
Let's be real about Wayne. Is that Wayne is very much in his own world. We love Wayne.
That's a fact.
We love Wayne.
He didn't even know who Kodak Black was when he first came out.
That's crazy to me.
Bro,
Lil Uzi all that.
He had XXXTentacion on his album after X died and didn't know who X was.
Yeah.
According to him.
He's in his own world. But we do have enough knowledge of Lil Wayne, what he said during concerts and stuff, that he knew he was aware of the beef. And
no, he was absolutely aware that there's no reason he could have not understood that there was friction. After 12 years, you're telling me that Drake and Wayne didn't have a conversation like Drake said, "Fuck Kendrick." Like you're telling me
he's wearing an OVO chain
like,
on stage, and
that
was obviously because he's never done that.
Wayne
that was obviously intentional. So he's aware.
There is some. However, I think Wayne is a businessman, and I think Wayne looks at it as, okay, I'm not gonna support Kendrick, but like I'm not gonna be like fuck Kendrick just because.
Yeah, my whole thing is I don't disagree with the idea of Wayne calling Kendrick. I think that's a smart move. Hey, I just want to get where your head's at. I also don't disagree with Kendrick because there's that old adage: if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say anything. Kendrick in his headspace right now, where you can hear how he came out with that album. He doesn't.
Why would
he doesn't want it? That call was not going to go well.
Why would he have anything other than something nice to say if he didn't diss him?
Because
you think he didn't diss him?
No,
and if
wait,
y'all think
I agree.
if Kendrick didn't diss him like y'all say he did, why wouldn't he have nothing nice to say?
Because
all you gotta
Wayne
say is
publicly stated that he took it as a diss. When if you hear the lyrics, it's not a fucking
Not
diss.
a diss.
No.
Yeah.
It's just like.
But
Wayne
listen,
publicly said on
rappers
Twitter,
are
listen,
we're
not worried about
if
if Wayne got anything nice to say. For one, Wayne hop on the phone. One of his first questions is gonna be is you dissing me? That's nothing not nice to say. You know what I'm saying?
Kendrick's first reaction is probably gonna be, "Then no, I'm not. Why the hell you keep going off about the whole Super Bowl thing when you could just be
nigga, because I feel away. I ain't say shit about you.
And
even if it don't matter, huh?
Why you mad at him? Why you mad at me?
Who said? Somebody said Lil Wayne was mad at Kendrick. Am I missing something?
No, I listen. I think both things are true. Let me clarify. I think both things are true.
This really is a fucking. I realize everyone's just like, I love you, Birdie. Don't get that.
No,
I just realized we're all on this side. Yeah, but what?
Hey, no, listen.
I stand tall with my back against the wall.
Birdie's an MVP. Birdie's an MVP. But no, what I'm saying is this: is that I think both things are true. I think Wayne was offended by how things played out, and I think it's also fair that like Kendrick wasn't looking at it as that deep.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I go back to Kendrick is in the wrong in my opinion. You pick up the phone. Wayne is so I go back to this. I go back to a beef that we didn't care about, but I care about as a rap nerd. Remember a year or 2 years ago who was beefing amongst the GOATs? It was M and Snoop. Nobody cared about that because people don't care about Eminem anymore or Snoop, hip hop wise. But I cared about it as like a fan. Like I don't want M and Snoop to be beefing with each other. They resolved their issues. I think this was one of those conversations where it's like okay, Snoop and M, they have to pick up the phone because they're both GOATs. Like this is not Joyner Lucas saying Lil Wayne is trash. This is Kendrick saying Lil Wayne, there's smoke there. Whatever.
There's
tension. There's tension.
And sometimes
I don't think there was tension on Kendrick's side. I don't think by the lyrics.
But I think Kendrick felt the type of way, and
I think he does feel a type of way about how Wayne took the situation.
And I think as an adult, sometimes, and maybe Wayne should have picked, or maybe Kendrick should have picked up the phone and say, "Hey, yo, I'm not."
Kendrick should have picked up the phone. That's not arguable.
But let's help. I'm not dissing you, but right now I'm really not fucking with you. Which is as an adult is something you can say.
Yes.
What you did, and the way you handled that to me has me feeling some type of way about how you handled it. And that's it.
Why would Kendrick even feel the type of way for Lil Wayne saying that it's my fault I'm not on at the Super Bowl?
Because it took him 3 interviews. It took him 3 interviews to say it's my fault.
He gotta say something because the internet already in shambles, thinking like, it's in New Orleans. Lil Wayne should be there. This, that, and the third. And on top of the fact, Lil Wayne has already said that one of his goals was to be on the Super Bowl stage.
Here's why he don't
so is mine.
And when you got your mans Well, he not his man's, but when you got somebody like Jay-Z, y'all to make classes together, this, that, and the third, you might think like he might slide you in there type shit. Like, bro, like, and he only been here. Right. Jay-Z only been in the NFL shit for like 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it's a different time now than in comparison if you said this shit like 5 years ago. Like, well, actually, it'll still be kind of.
I mean, because you look at even back when you go back to Whacked Out Murals, what's one we talk about the people that Kendrick named. Mm-hmm. He said the only person that congratulated my success recently was Nas.
And that was the only
and
public
I think
one.
That to me says a lot about where Kendrick's mind state was during this. All of y'all who I thought we were like, I'm cutting off my industry ties because all these people who I thought would be happy for my success are more in their own feelings about other shit rather than just saying, yo, look.
And I ain't mad at Kendrick for having that thought of fuck everybody. That's why like there's the part of me that's torn of like, but you also understand that there's a level of respect among GOATs. Like there is a okay, so let's take it out of rap. I don't know nothing about this shit. I'm just assuming because I played video games and watched documentaries on this shit. But mobsters, right? Like we've all played a video game or watched a movie where there's like 3 families that run a town, right? Mm-hmm. When something happens, the top dogs sit down and have a conversation and go, where do we want to go from here? And that's where I view this rap space because Kendrick has elevated to a GOAT status. Wayne has been a GOAT status. At this point, if Wayne calls Kendrick has to answer. He has to. There's no way that he doesn't.
No, because here's the deal. And here's something from my personal life. Because I have someone who's my best friend who, if I get married, is going to be the best man in my wedding.
Are y'all both GOATs?
I think we are. We both GOATs downtown. We both GOATs in the city.
I'm not questioning the resume.
The incredible
Bam don't miss. But what I'm saying is we had an issue when we were because we used to be roommates, we were no longer roommates, and we had an issue when that split happened. And I said, sent to him, it's like, listen, you my boy, you're gonna be my boy, but right now, I really don't want to fuck with you. Like, I don't want to, don't want to, this is not the time to have that conversation, because it's not gonna be productive, because emotions are high.
Let's let it settle down.
Let's shit settle, and we still gonna be boys.
A diss, why couldn't you answer the phone and say it was not a diss? That literally,
thank you.
That literally, that's literally like, taking the steam out of fucking teapot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit literally will dilute so much tension in between.
That's it. That's where I'm at.
So it's Kendrick. Like, why don't you answer the phone?
Because Kendrick, we all agree that Kendrick didn't diss Lil Wayne in that record.
No.
He could have been like some old ass rapper talking about, oh, he deserved the Super Bowl. He could have went there. He didn't.
But
why? Because he doesn't actually disrespect.
If emotions are high,
as a man, if you my man's, bro, we gotta talk about that shit right then and there. That's how
if
I
emotions
feel.
Are high, I don't think
this we feel some type of way over 3-4 months type bullshit. That's for women. That's what women do. That's shit. They break up and make up. Bro, in the future type shit. Case, we don't do that.
If that was the case, niggas wouldn't be getting murdered in the streets all the time.
Nigga, murder, you can't never rekindle a friendship if you murdered. So what are we talking about?
Bro, no, it's just the fact that
what are we talking about?
I don't mean to laugh, but it was funny the way you said that.
For real, though. Like,
listen, hear me out. Tensions are running so high right now, bro. Everybody is just feeling type of way, especially Kendrick Lamar, because the fact that one of his inspirations just said, that's fucked up. I wanted to be on Super Bowl. Why is Kendrick doing it? And Kendrick's feeling the type of way about
said that. That's the thing, though. You saying that, he never said that, though. All he said was, it's my own fault. I'm not on the Super Bowl stage. I should have did more.
But he said that after so many interviews. The first couple were like, I'm disappointed. And he came out and said, I'm disappointed in my effort. Later, the first couple things he said were, I'm disappointed and I shouldn't have let myself feel like I deserved it.
Thank you.
Well, I also want to.
That still is not a shot to Kendrick.
Just like the way Kendrick's not a shot to him. But the thing
is, I bet Lil Wayne would have answered the phone if Kendrick called.
But when emotions are high, the things that people say are interpreted different ways.
Wayne do be high, but he
He
probably
don't
would have
know
got a
his
call
formats.
back when he sobered up.
No,
You know what I'm saying? He got sober up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I do
And
wanna-
especially it's not good to talk while you high anyways.
I
You know what I'm
also-
saying?
I also
Only
wanna-
I can do shit like
I
that.
also want to preface this 20-minute discussion by saying we don't even know if this call ever actually happened.
That's true.
That's true.
Realistically, we're going off fucking
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden.
We are going off
We
Joe
don't
Budden.
know if this actually.
We are going
is
off Joe
true or
Budden.
not.
Listen,
We are hoping Joe Budden is a credible source
We would
for
hope so,
saying that
but I'm just saying
on air.
that there is no confirmation in any which way
That's a
form
fact.
that this happened or
We
didn't
are
happen.
all going
Not
off
from Wayne's
hyperboles at this
Right,
point.
but I will say Joe Budden is Joe Budden, but at the end of the day, when he comes to like actually reporting things, there's been very few things that like he's reported that were wrong. So I believe this call happened.
Also, the Drake,
But we can move on.
The Drake and Kendrick call was never technically solid.
No, it was.
Never confirmed by who?
By several
Drake or
people.
Kendrick, then nobody.
No, it was
I
it
think
was
Elliot
it was
Wilson
Joe,
said
it was
something
Joe
about it,
Budden,
didn't he?
Elliot Wilson, and Rob Markman. Three of the
Joe
Okay,
Budden
none
don't
of those
call
are Drake or
everybody, huh?
Kendrick, so the call was never confirmed.
It's not, but we
no,
always
but
we
Rob
always take
Markman's the
them as
greatest
credible.
rap journalist ever.
Can we just
We always
Doesn't
take them.
matter.
we all just-
It do matter. It do matter. You know why it do matter? Because if we come on here and be like Elliot Wilson said XYZ, we're gonna take that as a fact because we take him
I'm
as
a
a
fan of
credible
Elliot
source.
Wilson, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we
and
take
Rob
him as a
Markman.
credible source. Now, has Elliot Wilson fucked up? Yes, because I mean he did just say like
Well,
a couple.
I'm just
He did
saying
say a
that-
few weeks ago that Future and Drake hopped on the phone, and that turned out not to be true.
Yeah,
No,
but-
Elliot
so
did, but
there you
Rob Markman is where I put the source on it.
Until
Rob
Drake
Markman-
or Kendrick get on fucking record and say that this call,
But they
either
never
of these
will.
calls happen, it's
But they
it's
never will.
speculation.
We
There's
know-
no
Can we
No,
just
no,
point
no.
out though that
As a
Joe
journalist, you should fucking sit behind that because that's
a fact.
There's no truth
I ain't a
behind it
journalist.
at the end of the day.
We are.
Because so and so.
Yeah, but
credible.
as a journalist, you don't reveal your sources.
No.
Can we just
Okay,
all,
but
well
if-
again? Can we just all point out that Joe Budden is basically the hip hop FBI? He got everybody phone tapped to know what phone calls happen.
I'm not saying that, and I trust me, I love the conversation. I want it to
Yeah.
be true, but I'm just putting out the point that
right.
there is very big possibility that neither of these things ever actually happen.
I want to say a big possibility coming from those three sources.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big possibility. I think it's a possibility.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, it's a
that it
possibility it didn't happen. I don't think it's a
I'm just
big
saying,
possibility.
At the end of the day, no matter what, I mean, such as most of media in general, speculation.
Yeah, but
that's all it is.
Everything lives in a gray area because even if we can say the call did happen, we don't even know the full context of the call because every story is a little bit different.
Right.
There's Joe Budden over here making
It's
exact
fucking,
quotes.
We
what's
played
the
telephone in
secret
middle
game?
school. We know how it go.
Yeah,
telephone.
What's a telephone where you pass it in a circle and maybe it gets diluted. Nobody really.
Yeah, I thought she liked me.
I really thought she liked me. She made me look like a clown in front of the whole class. Anyway, but yeah, no, I'm just saying it's like. Which I do. I mean, I'm not really doubting that any of this stuff happened, but I am saying like this is at the end of the day all speculation.
I'll die on the hill that anything Rob Markman says. I'll die. That's where I'm.
That's a few
where I'm
niggas
at.
I feel like that for too. I ain't gonna lie. So
That's where I'm at.
I look. I have nothing but respect. I like Rob Markman.
I know we're a Rob Markman
We're a
friendly
pro Rob
podcast.
Markman podcast for sure.
Actually, he shouted us out.
Did
Well,
you,
not shout us out, but he's said behind the scenes he fucks with us. But anyways.
but
Allegedly.
we gotta trust him as a source on that one.
way different.
We gotta trust him as a source on that one.
Way different. But we can move on.
I just got one more question. So you said that Kendrick possibly. Well, who you said that Kendrick said has ammo for Wayne? You know where I'm about to go with this.
I know.
You know where I'm about to go with this. I
just
gotta ask.
Before we move on, you want to get messy.
I gotta ask.
All right. So what's your messy question?
Who's the who you said Kendrick said had Wayne ammo or ammo for Wayne?
It was Whack, which I don't care I don't care about that source. To be
I
honest,
wouldn't be surprised if Whack knew or not though. He is.
Yeah,
he's straight
yeah.
West Coast.
So I'm like it's that's a case of 50-50.
Right.
It's like it
is, but like Whack
he
ain't
West
been
Coast, but
disproved
Whack
on a lot of
also-
shit.
yeah.
And listen, when Whack say.
He's married to no jumper.
And listen,
Like,
I done heard Wax say plenty of times when it comes to information, he'd be like, "I got 100,000. Whoever want to bet me on X, Y, Z." So like,
That shit wrong.
I be thinking, you know what I'm saying?
he's calling bluffs, dog.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
Listen,
All right, man.
but
Look.
does anybody not see how this is a loser move?
From what? From whose perspective?
Kendrick?
From Kendrick's? I said
Not answering the phone.
Okay,
right?
so I said Kendrick. I said
Kendrick's
Kendrick's wrong. I don't necessarily look at it as a loser move because to me, like losers,
not losing. That's probably wrong.
But no, Kendrick is in the wrong for not picking up the phone.
Right. No, but I'm saying
I don't want. That's some lame shit
though.
We've had it. Let's go around the room real quick, and then we'll wrap up this to move on to next. So, do you think Kendrick is wrong for not picking up the phone?
Yes.
Just yes or no?
Yes.
Yes? Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yes or no, nigga.
So no.
I'm gonna say no.
I personally I hope both teams.
Both teams have fun.
But,
No, you gotta say something.
No, I actually no. Really, at the end of the day, I think you should have just picked up the phone because what's a conversation gonna change?
Right.
Like,
Okay. So
that conversation would change a lot.
Okay.
honestly.
Perfect. Now let's jump to this because I know we haven't talked about it enough, but the big three in 2024.
You skated past.
Welcome to the Kendrick Cave.
J. Cole over here somewhere just riding his bike still.
So
Yeah, he over there on 57th
Yeah,
Avenue.
let's
Seen
have-
somebody get assassinated riding his bike.
let's have the big three. Let's have the big three conversation before we get out of here. Listen, next week, I'm just saying it. I'll say it again on the outro. Next week is our last pod of the year because we're gonna enjoy our holidays with our families and all of that. And the industry shut down. Matter of fact, this week is the last week of the industry. The industry, watch all the people that you love in the rap music industry or just music industry in general. If you want to broaden it beyond rap, they're not working past this week. We're gonna work an extra week, but that's just who we are. The big three. I feel like I want this to be the last conversation, but I know that it's not. It's not gonna be.
It never will be.
But
the conversation never ends.
But look, next week we're gonna have our MVPs. We're gonna have our whatever. We're gonna stay away from like the big three specifically conversation. So let's sit here with this. How do yeah, give that man a drink. How do we looking back at this year, how do we process the big three? Like let's look at each person's legacy. Kendrick, Cole, Drake, how their legacy was affected. Because that's what I care about. I care about the long term. I care about 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, how we look at them.
Well,
how much do you think...
None of this ever leaves any of their permanent records, just like in high school. It's permanent record. It's on wax. It's there. It's these things happen one way or another.
Shaw, easy. These things happen.
Well,
I stand by that album. Listen, there's a lot of albums that like I liked.
I like the one before it by Jeezy.
No, these things happen. You don't like these things?
It's fine. It's fine, but the one before it I like more.
What the
Must Be Nice.
Oh,
that one's solid.
I think these things nice is better. Anyways, we're not getting into Jeezy conversation, but
should Kendrick have called G-Eazy?
Yeah. So
we all know Jeezy could have been the big three at one point.
Whose name? Yeah,
it's just Big G.
Listen,
G-Eazy, Macklemore.
Listen, as a skinny white dude that wanted all the girls, you better believe Jeezy was in my big three conversation in 2013.
G-Eazy would be the nigga to look up to. I'm not gonna lie. Y'all see his high school pictures? But he had the huzz. He had the huzz.
He had the huzz on his dad.
He had him. I ain't gonna lie. Jeezy was that guy.
Hey man, all right. Look, whose legacy do we want to start with first? Cole's, Drake's, or Kendrick's?
Hey, you could tell G-Eazy had that name since a youngin.
Mm-hmm.
He had that name forever.
He thought of that when he was like 6 years old.
Nah.
Someone gave him that.
A nigga gave him that nickname. 100%.
And he ran with it.
I mean,
yes.
he's from Oakland. Yeah. I mean, you never know. You don't know what he was going through at a young age.
Definitely as an Oakland nigga name.
Yeah, type shit. Go ahead, do your thing.
All right. Yeah. No. Where we want to start? Whose legacy?
Let's go Cole.
Cole.
Yeah. Start with
All right. Cole. Where we at with Cole's legacy?
Doing some order type shit.
Yeah. How much?
Okay,
how much?
hold up. Are we talking about what we personally think about it, or
Yes.
what we think the
Yes.
overarching thing is? Personal.
Personal.
Okay.
Personal.
Just want to preface that.
Perfect. Personal. All right. So let's start with Cole. So how much did Cole's stock change? I assume it's going to be negative around the room. However, how much negative stock was there on Cole this year?
Listen, there was like a scale of like -10 to 10. I don't think Cole should dip below a -1. Cause like everybody got recency bias. So like by this time next year, yeah, we might talk about the beef. Will we have those exact same feelings towards Cole? I don't think so.
No, man. Cole's got too much respect in the game.
Cole's been
because like today for me, Cole a sorry ass nigga. But next year, you know what I'm saying, I'm listening to Boring Center. I'm like, damn, this nigga really is one of the greatest. You put it on today. You feel me? Like this nigga really is one of the greatest. You know what I'm saying? Like he really had these projects that withstand the test of times. Thank you for finishing my sentence. You know what I'm saying? So
off mic, I gave you that.
But I see as of right now, maybe his stock is at a -1, but he'll be back at a good 6, 7 next year if he just stay silent, move how Cole move.
So long term, where do you, before I move on to other people?
Long term, Cole never drops out the big 3.
But he's forever third. Forever third, but
yes, if you think J. Cole's third, then J. Cole is still in the third spot of the big 3 if that's where you think he's at.
Okay.
So
next?
I'm with Rod on that one. I would say
let the guests go. Yeah.
I would say Rod is hit it right on the money, man. I say he drops at least about -1, -2.
On a scale -10 to 10 for sure.
Yeah. But honestly, it don't go down that deep. And then he puts on another album. And I think we said on the last time he said he put it on one and then retired, right?
This is supposed to be his last album, the one coming out.
But he's been teasing Fall for 7 years. That's where I'm annoyed.
I'm still thinking
it's detox at this
I'm still thinking either a little mini EP project or an album before he dropped the Fall off.
I think so too. Yeah. Which is bullshit, bro. You'd have dropped like 7 projects between your final album.
Listen, man, you gotta anticipate.
KOD had a song that literally said "Intro to the Fall Off."
You gotta anticipate.
That's 2018.
You gotta anticipate. And listen, if there's one thing,
and
I love the offseason.
If there's one thing I admire about Kendrick more than any other rapper, is anticipation. He knows how to anticipate them albums, keep people wondering. And J. Cole just know how to do it while dropping music and albums. But
listen, as somebody that listened to the, go ahead. Actually, go ahead before I go in.
Yeah, let's circle the room.
Yeah, circle. Yeah.
Oh, I'll make mine quick. Basically, I was just saying like J. Cole just got. You know, everybody, we love J. Cole too much. I love J. Cole too much just to be like, no, I ain't listening to J. Cole no more. F that. J. Cole got hits, and he still got more to come. So, I guarantee...
He still raps nice.
Yes. Beautiful flow, bro. So, I guarantee by like next year, maybe he'll put something out, like a little EP or something like that, like Rod was saying. But, nah, man. He's still up there. Top 3 still. 3, if anything.
I mean, I'm going to kind of stick with y'all. I'm going to say -1 if that. Me, I was going to say net neutral, 0. I don't think that realistically. I mean, he got clowned for bowing out the beef before he even knew what the real beef was. Yeah. So I think in hindsight, when we are looking back, people still going to clown like, oh, you call yourself the best. And J. Cole, as much as that was really more of a recent J. Cole thing. J. Cole was just out here trying to deliver good ass raps. And he's still doing that. That hasn't changed. And that's not going to change. He's going to go on a good feature run. He's going to drop like you guys say, another mini project. And J. Cole going to be J. Cole. I don't think J. Cole's still going to have ties in the industry, whether he works with Kendrick or not. He's still got, him and Drake are still cool. Whatever happens for him, I don't think it matters.
I don't know about that.
I'm thinking,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Drake rocking with him.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Really? Well, he ain't follow him on Instagram, but it's a conversation that need to be had.
It's a conversation.
Oh.
But I mean, he's still, Cole.
But
still
he tweeted from his Finsta,
It was a joke.
He's not in his MySpace top 8 anymore. But no, but I think
that's a meme. It's a joke.
Yeah, but honestly,
light skin shit.
It's not like J. Cole was really featuring a lot of them on his albums really anyway. So he's still he's going to be J. Cole. I think he's going to be fine. It's just going to be, we still going to get some good music. I still think that he's one of the top rappers right now. And in that genre of like, when you look at that like 2010s freshman class with like those 3, Wale, Big Sean, he's still very clearly head and shoulders above all the rest of the people in that class. So, to me, it's not. I would say no change really.
He might honestly drop into the Dreamville album.
Chris Apples.
Okay, so in my opinion, like, look, my opinion on Cole has not changed. Literally, like, really in the slightest. For one, in my opinion, he was 3 to begin with. He's still 3 now. He's still in the big 3. Like, nothing, just, I knew that he wasn't cut for this shit. When I heard that Cole was getting involved with any of this, I was like, oh, this is bad fucking news. Cole is in all realistically, he's the chill guy. Mm-hmm. He's the real chill guy.
He's the real chill guy.
He's just Cole is the real chill.
Yeah,
he was not. He didn't want it. He didn't want to deal with it. He didn't want any of that shit. He felt he had to do something because he was involved with it. Unprecedentedly. He was just like pushed into it without his own. Now, I'm not saying he could have not done anything about it, of course, but when you're on that stature, you have to do it. But at the end of the day, look, J. Cole is a legend, just as Kendrick and Drake are, and J. Cole, this does not knock J. Cole off a pedestal, and to quote Paris Morton music too, only real music gonna last. All that other bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow, and J. Cole is not going anywhere. Like, he's still, it don't matter. That's what, like, a lot of people lose in all of this shit is, like, this beef is, like, it doesn't determine, you don't have to, okay, like, nothing, on the sense of nothing has been proven yet on the beef and whatever, Drake being a pedophile, Kendrick being a woman beater, all this. It's like, right now, the fact that it's all speculation, there's no reason to not like the other person because of your association with this person. So, at the end of the day, I hold all 3 still to the same candle. Now, granted, Drake lost.
I can disagree with that one.
Well,
I disagree too, but I'm keeping my mouth shut till
I got a question for you too after that. After your point.
All right, let Brice go because I don't even want to fuck with y'all no more.
So, this is a question for everyone. I don't want to ignite the whole thing because I know you guys got
like
points.
Brice still be on this bitch cooking for real.
So I can't. So
You ain't
I
Brice
can't,
Barker for
I
no
can't like
reason.
Drake because I can't like Drake or J. Cole because Kendrick won. What fucking sense does that make?
Okay,
It's,
no, I agree.
At the end of the day, it's fucking music. Listen to it and have a good time.
Exactly.
If you're overthinking that shit, that's your own fucking problem. Honestly, like, listen to it, have a good time. If you enjoy it, enjoy it. If you don't, you don't. He fucking listened to 13,000 minutes of Yeet last year. Do I love Yeet? No.
Damn.
But either way. But
That motherfucker
Yo,
pointed
did you
his
just
finger.
put him on blast like that?
Hey,
dude?
good thing you're on the camera though, right?
No, I hope the camera got that.
Oh wow!
I generally think that the way the
Straight
camera's
shots fired,
positioned,
bro.
I really
bro.
think it got that.
no, that's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I just say listen to what the fuck you want to listen to. It don't matter. This beat, it's fucking celebrity. It's entertainment tonight. That's what we're dealing with right now. This is not your average. When you get in the car, you're still throwing on fucking whatever you want to throw on. I'm still listening to Nothing Was the Same. It doesn't all the. I mean, it goes. This is now beyond Cole, but either way, like, everyone's taking this shit too fucking personally. You don't know these people. Bro, like, nobody does.
I think you're thinking of it very rationally.
Chris is the I didn't vote because of the lesser of the two evils type nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
I
a bad
voted.
about the, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all
No,
wanna
I'm
get
just
into-
saying.
y'all wanna
No, I'm
get into
saying
that,
that's.
I promise
No, I'm
you.
saying because this rap battle's all politics. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you playing the neutral ground, but
I
it's like.
called out of bed 2 weeks later after Kamala
I'm sorry.
lost.
I'm not gonna be succumbed to
Oh, my
fucking.
goodness.
Oh, because Twitter says that I can't like this person, now I can't like him.
So
what
Chris-
the fuck is that?
So Chris,
that's
Chris, I'm gonna pose this question to you,
Bro,
and I
you
kind
ever
of
see
want to.
that? You ever see that Borat where he goes? Where you ever see that? That's where I stole that joke from. Is where Borat was like after Hillary Clinton got the election robbed from her, or got the election robbed from her. 2 weeks later, I emerged from my bed. Like,
Yeah.
he was just trying to.
So,
You know, I meant to tell you. Go ahead. Go
oh,
ahead.
all right. I want to say I'm gonna ask this question for you.
Man,
and
I
kinda-
want to talk about J. Cole, but
and I want
go
to,
ahead.
and I kind of want to go around the panel with this question, kind of thinking about J. Cole.
He's dead.
No,
Yo.
if J. Cole, because again, this whole we kind of say
Was
like, you know,
alive.
everything that's been bubbling under the surface really starts with first person shooter, and it's the big 3 like we start in the league. Is it Aubrey K. Dutters and me? or K. Dot, Aubrey me, whatever order. Do you think if that line was on just a J. Cole song, not with Drake, so he just dropped a random song with that line, that he would, even if let's say in a similar world, whatever, Drake still has a beef with Kendrick, do you think J. Cole's even involved in it?
No, because you force, by virtue, you know the big three is the big three. You don't get on a song with the other person that's in the big three and say, I'm the greatest, without that person, right or wrong, whether Cole meant it or not. Because I personally think that Cole felt like Kendrick is. I feel like Cole thought, when he made First Person Shooter, I think he thought Cole was 1 and Kendrick was 2 and Drake was 3. I personally think he felt that way because of the way.
You should be competitive. You should.
Yeah,
feel
you should feel like you're the best. Yeah. And I don't care who is 2 or 3.
Which, mind you, everybody does, down to Yeet. Everyone says they're the fucking greatest.
Man,
it doesn't matter who
have
wants
it
it.
for this Yeet shit, bro.
But shit, lifestyle album of the year.
I'm not even sending shots. I'm just saying, it doesn't matter who you are. You could have fucking 300 plays on SoundCloud. You're still going to say it.
How did he enter a big 3 conversation?
Hey, it only makes sense. Real Twizzy shit. He stay on his Twizzy shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't let it go.
Okay, but to go back to your point, you can't get on record with the other one of the big 3 talking about how great you are, and that other one not be alienated. And I wish I could shout out the podcast that said it, because I saw a clip and it was posted on Twitter. And shout out to them, because I've never been more jealous of a take in my life. Like, I wish I would have thought that smartly. But they said when First Person Shooter first dropped, they said, look, this is a dope record, but if you and you team up, how do you think that makes the other person feel?
Even if he turned down,
and that was 6 months before shit ever popped off.
Even if Kendrick turned down the feature,
I need to come back and say that we're talking about personal opinions here. This is my personal opinion. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong. I know everybody in this circle still listen to Jay and Nas.
Well, I just only listen to Jay.
Well, yeah, but what about? Yeah,
okay, what about what?
What are you saying?
They dissed each other.
Friends now.
So now you had to pick a side and hate the other one forever.
No. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna box us in with.
You're boxing me
Twitter.
in. I'm just saying.
I'm not boxing. I'm not boxing you in. What I'm saying is I haven't changed. My number 1 and 2. We'll get to it next week.
It's still the same.
We'll get to it next week. But my number 1 and 2.
We doing
are very obvious. No, of our like own like music like stats.
Yeah, mine
like our raps.
My number 1 and 2 are pretty obvious too.
My rap is 1 and 2.
Oh.
And it's very contradictory. But like that's the point of what I'm saying is like it doesn't have to be Democrats or Republicans. Like, it doesn't have to be how it was emphasized to a lot of people.
That's
the Rap Cave podcast.
That's my whole point.
Yeah, the Rap Cave podcast is a different platform. We're not Democrats or Republicans. You know what I mean? Like, we're sticking with facts. We're sticking with analysis. So to get to the Cole part of it is that look, Cole is, to me, he's a -5 out of a scale of -10 to -10, and I love Cole. Cole was on a heater, but your whole heater run was you talking about how you're the best, and you got a chance to prove that you were the best on some sword shit, on some not personal. You knew it was never going to be personal with Dot. You knew that because you know your relationship with Dot. It was never going to be that. So for you to bow out, which, listen, peace of mind, whatever. Man, whatever makes Cole happy, fuck it. I'm not the person to tell Cole what makes him happy or doesn't. But you can't talk for 5 years. For 5 years. You hopped on every record talking about how you were the greatest, and you had one chance to prove it. You didn't have a layup. You didn't have Wale. You didn't have Big Sean. You didn't have Meek. You didn't have a layup for you to dunk on. You actually did, but you didn't take advantage of it. Cole could have dunked on Kanye years ago, but he's a pussy. Like Cole should have been dunked on Kanye. Kanye had been taking shots at Cole for years, and Cole hasn't said a word to Kanye.
That remix is still one of the funniest.
But the fault in your point is now this is back into politics and not personal opinion on is Cole knocked down in my personal world for me? No. I'm not judging. I'm not judging your. Yes. Everybody's personal opinion. That's what I'm saying. Is like I understand the point politically of why Cole is knocked down below them. In my world, Cole doesn't leave that third spot that he was already in before because the music is still is there.
No, I agree with that because I'm not refuting your personal opinion. My personal opinion, your personal opinion. We're both at the same point in that Cole is third. However, Cole is like exponentially third off of what he did.
For sure.
100%. Exponentially, like not even close to competing with. He can't ever sniff one or two off of what he did because the way he rebranded. You look at Cole. I've always said this before. Cole was the happy medium of Kendrick and Drake. Mm-hmm. He didn't make the bangers that Drake made. He didn't make the socially conscious music that Kendrick made with the artistry that Kendrick made his albums. So he was always in the middle of he gave you that thoughtful music. Yes, he gave you that thoughtful music, but it did well commercially, but it never did Drake numbers, and it also the artistry never matched the Kendrick.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
So for him, he was stuck in the middle. How he separated himself.
He called himself the middle child,
right?
Which I know was a different reference, but what really did accurately reflect his place in the hip hop zeitgeist.
Right, and he took that and he embraced it and he flipped it on. Okay, I'm gonna be the best rapper of you two. Drake makes the best pop records. Kendrick makes the best albums. I'm going to be the best rapper. Mm-hmm. And he did that.
I see him rather than the middle child. I see him more now as the victim of divorced parents, if anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's the child of divorced parents.
Either way, that looks bad for Cole. And so where I'm at with Cole is so the reason else. to go back to quickly and
Cole's my favorite rapper. I want to say that to
and then we'll move on to another artist, whoever you guys choose. But to close the Cole thing. Is like the reason I have him -5 is because he spent this last 5 years building his persona on don't try me. I'm him. Now Kendrick did that too. He did Control. He did all these other records where he talked about I'm the boogeyman, I'm Candyman, all this other bullshit, right? Right? And everybody and me and myself included, I was like, when he got in the battle with Drake, I was like, I'm scared because bro, you talk that talk, but like now it's time to prove it against a formidable opponent, and he did. Cole talked that talk, and he got himself in a position where he had all the leverage in the world to prove it, and he didn't. He tapped out, and then on top of that, bro, he has an album named The Fall Off, and I said this. You know how easy it is for people to dunk on that?
Yeah, they could run with that for a mile.
It doesn't matter. Listen, this has to be Cole's greatest album ever, and Cole has a great album. But this has to be his greatest album ever because
he essentially set himself up for failure. At
right?
This point. Yeah.
Because he tucked his tail and apologized, and then he has an album named The Fall Off. Do you know how easy it is for Twitter to make memes about him falling off?
Cole could possibly be creating an oxymoron with this album. the fall off being the greatest.
No, I think that's 100% what you do.
Right.
Like,
That's why I think his intention was.
Goal,
but do you think the internet will receive it that way?
No, because people are gonna fucking hate it.
They're gonna dunk on that shit.
Listen, this is why I say that J. Cole's gonna drop at least one more project or another project. He's gonna stretch this out until.
I think an EP is a good.
I think his inevitable washes over. Fire.
Then when this shit wash over, then that's when he's gonna drop
almost at the point
people
where
not thinking about
over.
this beef no more. That's when he's gonna drop the fall off.
Because it's rarely between people keep forgetting about J. Cole is even part of this, and the more I agree with you. The further we get away, the less J. Cole's even gonna be a footnote in this whole thing.
Time heals all things. Like
what he did. What he did is look, and you know it because I put in the group chat. I slandered the Inevitable podcast when the first 10 minutes I listened to it. I'm now like 6 or 7 episodes deep. I'm like 2 episodes behind. I gotta catch up. It's honestly awesome. Like Cole is spastic. He rambles, and it's not the way Cole talks is like it can very much turn you off, but I do the same. I do the same, so I enjoy it. But I appreciate Cole for like it was like it's very real for him to explain his nuance in his like he is detailing every moment of how he felt when these records were coming out,
it's
the
not
behind the scenes.
It's not,
bro, he played 2 unreleased him and Kendrick joints, which were not groundbreaking, but it was cool to hear a him and Cole record that never came out.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like he's like Drake did the 100 gigs, and what that did was like emphasize nostalgia. J. Cole did that, and he did that even better with this podcast. I do think in the long run, I think he should have had like a docuseries. Like I think Kendrick and Drake are doing docuseries, and I think that's gonna wash what Cole did. But Cole did a good job with that. So I think where I'm at with Cole is that the reason he's a -5 is because he spent the last 5 years rebranding himself, and me gaining favor of Cole on him being the best rapper and him being the I want all the smoke, and then he didn't prove it when the push came to shove. So to me, it's a -5 in that, yes, he's still third. I agree with Chris's point that he is still third. But I'm a little more down on it because like, not only is he third, but he's like super duper third. Like, there is nothing. Like, this Fall Off album, I hope it's great because I love Cole. There is no matter what this Fall Off album is, there ain't no way that he ever even sniffs anywhere but third. And so that's why I give it like a -5. Because like it wasn't career suicide. It's not like -10 would have been like, okay, you're not even in the big 3 anymore. -5 is like you're certified in the big 3, but you're certified third. You can't change that. And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with Cole. But we can do we want to hop to Drake or Kendrick next?
There's a lot of Kendrick fans in this room. Might as well just take over. Take it over.
Okay. How much does Kendrick winning this battle improve his all-time great stock? Does it make any difference to you at all? Does it, or is it just nothing?
Chris, is this we going personal or are we being objective here? Just
personal.
Let me know before I'm asking this one. You know what I'm saying? He was going crazy over there about the, personal and how other people
That's
look at it.
That's why I asked
shit.
beforehand.
Exactly.
You said personal, so
asking.
I went personal. It's about
personal.
your personal opinion.
Yeah, you have an opinion. You're a public speaker.
Personally,
Stand on it.
that nigga ain't never been in my top 3. He ain't been in my top 10, my top 15.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
if we're being objective,
yes, that's fair. No. Stick with personal.
That's what. Okay. Yeah, exactly.
Stick with personal.
Objectively speaking, from your own personal standpoint,
does what happened improve your stance on him? Whether he was whether he was 3rd or he was 69th on your list, doesn't matter. But does what happened this past year, what transpired, does it improve your perception of him, your ranking of him, etc.?
No.
No?
Because I mean, I'm not about to really be listening to him after this beef. Wasn't really listening to him before.
So
this
him
beef,
going
so
to bet, him going to
but
battle.
What
with
I will
Drake
say is,
is
as
doing
I've
well.
been saying, I do see him as a legend more than I did before. But
But it doesn't
not about to
change. It
change
doesn't
anything
change your
musically.
your ranking.
No.
Okay.
I don't think battles don't hold as much weight to me as it do others. Like,
That's what I was exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
That was my whole point.
yeah,
is
right.
that,
Like when, because every time I always get into these conversations about Jay-Z and Nas, and then it's like the first talking point from a Nas fan is the battles. Like, bro, do you know how many fucking great albums Jay-Z got that shitting on Nas last like
Half
4 or
the
5
discography.
years? You know what I'm saying?
Discography.
Like, bro, I'm not about to argue with you about no back and
Nas
forth
really
for
hit
3
Nas-
songs.
Nas hit his
Nas-
renaissance in terms of albums.
Listen,
He's
Nas-
got, he's got twice as many albums,
I'm
and that
gonna
second half can all.
I'm gonna
is
put it. I'm gonna
nothing
put a
compared
pin
to
in
Jay-Z.
that.
But yeah, no, like shit, Kendrick to me. Like I'm always tap into his new shit, see if it's good or not, or whatever. But usually it's just.
But
I
it
listen to
didn't.
once and
It
it's
didn't
gone.
change anything for you.
Yeah, no, I ain't changing that.
Okay. That's the room.
I mean, I can
Isaiah
understand that.
Bryce Harper.
I can understand because I feel it's kind of it's different levels of the conversation, and I understand where you're coming from. Because for me, I recognize Eminem as one of the greatest rappers to ever do it. That being said, if you listen to what I've been listening to, Jake, you tap into everything I listen to for a week, 2 weeks, a month straight, you're probably never gonna hear an Eminem song. I respect him. I just don't care for his music personally, but I respect him as an artist. I feel like that's kind of what you're doing with.
So at that point, you being objective. It's not personal.
I'm saying, like, if I was doing it just like I was saying though, from a personal side, Eminem is not in my top anything really because I'm not listening to
Right,
him.
but
But-
you recognize him as
I recognize the
one
talent.
of the best rappers. I just recognize him as I recognize Kendrick as a legend. Like I said, I don't recognize him as like a GOAT rapper type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay.
I know, like you can always see a legend when it's in your face. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's undeniable. It's like
Just out of curiosity, I want you to explain because we gonna do a whole separate pod on it one day. But roughly, on your like, if you had to, is he top? Kendrick is top what to you objectively?
probably like a good. I'll put him in the top 20.
Okay,
That's fair.
that's what I was gonna guess.
That's
you're
fair.
at. Okay, Bryce. Anyways, continue.
Okay. So, with all that being said, I mean, to me, I always liked Kendrick objectively more than Drake. Regardless, I thought his concepts were better. As for me, I always considered Drake a more pop artist. So, Drake had hits that were poppy to me that I enjoyed. I know that Drake had some rapidy rap stuff too, but I just kind of looked at him as more of a pop artist. I always thought that Drake was going to outsell Kendrick. I think to me, this solidified that Kendrick is, of that blog era of music, the #1 rapper. I think that now he has put himself in a position to potentially outsell Drake when they go head to head, all that stuff going forward. I still think it's going to be hard for him to completely knock it down because Drake's pop elements.
I'm gonna take your money on that though. whenever them numbers come off both this shit, we putting some money on that.
Well, because my whole thing is Drake's still going to have. He's still going to make the pop records. He's still going to make the stuff that as much as he talks about, like, you know, the Taylor
There's
made
gonna be a
freestyle.
Drake rollout versus there wasn't a Kendrick, and I'm not caping, but listen, if my second album theory
Do
is
we count
true,
that snippet that he dropped right before the album as
if my
promo or nah?
I mean, it happened like
I
20
guess,
minutes before the
yeah,
album dropped.
it
So it's
did.
not really a
It
rollout.
did.
but
I was just asking.
But yeah, no, I it's fair. It's fair, but like it's not a whole rollout per se. But to me, like I would like to see if my second album theory is true with Kendrick, and my second album theory involves like a whole extensive rollout. It's not no GNX where it's like, oh, it's here. Like, I think if Kendrick does have that second album in the chamber, like I believe, it is going to be heard of. It is going to be omnipresent, is going to be there. Where like that's like I don't think Drake is his next drop. I don't think it's a surprise. So that's where I'm not trying to shoot Kendrick bail by any means, but like I'm looking at it as like Kendrick did like the surprise thing. I don't think Drake is gonna do that. I think Drake is gonna have a rollout, and I think Kendrick next album.
I'm not gonna include this album. I'm really gonna do. I'm like roll out, album drop. We gonna count these 2 albums.
I got where you're coming from because I mean, some people kind of look at this as Kendrick versions of Drake's. If you're reading this, it's too late. Where it's gonna have some hits that are gonna resonate with people. Like I know I'm gonna be still listening to Scrabble Up down the future, but it doesn't have a Hotline Bling. It doesn't have that song that's intended to. Even though Squabble Up did go number 1, it didn't have a song. It's not gonna have those songs that are meant for that mainstream play. A Drake album will sometime, and most Kendrick albums will at least have 1 or 2 that, you know, even though it's not 100% focused in the pop realm, it's still focused on like this is gonna be that airplay song. So all that being said, I do think it solidifies in the hip hop realm Kendrick as the number 1 rapper of the blog era. I think we can kind of close the door on that.
Okay, so when it comes to I'll ask the same thing I asked Birdie. All time lists, all time ranking. Is Kendrick higher than Drake to you?
Yes.
Okay.
I think that the cultural. I think we look back at this years down the line, Kendrick's going to finish higher. And I think, for me personally, I know that Kendrick's going to finish higher because he was already going to finish higher on the all-time ranking as is. I like some of Drake's hits. There's some of them fun to sing for karaoke, but Drake as a complete artist, like I said, for me, when I heard To Pimp a Butterfly and I heard a song, we start off with George Clinton and Snoop Dogg and jazz, like some of my influences stuff growing up, jazz, R&B, outside of just hip-hop, that to me shows more artistry. So even the artistry was better. The bars were better. So he was always going to be higher in my personal view.
Okay.
Kendrick got bars?
He got bars.
For real?
All right.
I was just asking.
Did you not hear these past couple discs?
All right.
Right?
Hey,
listen. I ain't heard them.
All right.
But yeah, the long and the short of it, I think that for me is always going to be the case. This pushed him to, in my opinion, on the cultural zeitgeist up that list.
Zeitgeist, that motherfucker using tough words. You
Zeitgeist.
can't.
No, hey, I'm adding that to my vocabulary. If you just hear me throwing that word out randomly, just know my nigga Harper put me on.
All right, Zeke. Go ahead. Where
What's
you
up?
You already know where I'm.
Relax.
Whoa.
Relax. You can't say.
Let's just keep it right here.
Niggas too
Can't
tough.
say Zeke. You can't say anything other than Zeke. This motherfucker stuck in a Rashad. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, man.
It kind of fit though.
It does not.
like-
It really doesn't.
Fit? That's disrespectful.
That's totally outlandish, bro.
Oh, y'all hey. Hey, listen.
He wants to quit.
Listen. If y'all got something against the LGBT, just say it on camera.
I have
If you don't like gay people, just say that.
My brother is actually fully part of the community. So
You fully part what?
my brother is part of the community. So
Okay.
yeah, we good on that side. I'm affiliated. I'm a supporter.
Oh, you affiliated?
No, I'm a supporter. I'm a supporter. Not affiliated. Not affiliated.
Hey, how you think you're affiliated with that? Motherfuckers get stopped out. How you think?
My man's a blood. I'm affiliated. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really
I'm a
round
supporter,
the way.
not affiliated.
All right. Yeah.
my standing on this,
Kendrick, where you at with his legacy?
I mean, it's not
And that's
that
Chris Apples. Does it change at all for you? Does this battle
For
change
me personally, no, it doesn't change anything. Kendrick's always been my favorite rapper since he's first been out. I've been listening to Kendrick more since Section 80. Like that's like I can literally quote what's that one? No, not Rigor Mortis. I can quote that perfectly.
Rigor Mortis is
The one where it's
one of my favorite
like
songs by him.
in time, what was that song called? It's like something
You ain't no real Kendrick fan.
No.
I
There's so many Kendrick songs in the world, man.
You talking about so many songs? Nigga got 5 albums.
So many, but it's like so many of these songs that I know.
Nigga, get it together. I got understand. If I'm here, me thinking of a Drake song, like, damn.
Nah,
I got 10 hours to go. You know what I'm saying?
No, there's so many of them, but bro, like, Kendrick's always been had a high stand for me, but so this beef has done nothing for me, except just what is that song called? Chapter 10 is what it's called. Yeah, my fault.
Chapter 10 is a fucking great
Chapter 10 or
interlude.
Chapter 6, one of the two, I forgot.
Chapter 10 is a great interlude.
Come on, man, get it together.
Fuck. But no, man, this doesn't change shit for me, man. I've been loving Kendrick since his first album till to this day. I still play it, and with the whole Drake thing, I still see Drake. I'll still hold Drake to a high regard, man. Drake, let's not get it fucked up. Drake, this dude puts in work, man. He put out album after album every single year. That's hard work, dude. And then on every single album is the hits that had a #1 hit.
Yeah.
Let's not discredit Drake, all right? Drake be putting out bangers, bro.
So
that don't mean shit. This whole beef ain't got shit to do
Let me-
with the
Love for the
gospel.
street.
let me ask you this, number wise, without like having like an actual ranking, like actual number. Where does Kendrick rank in your top hip hop artists of all time? Where does Drake rank?
Of all time?
Yes.
Like all rappers?
Yes.
Shit.
You don't have to necessarily like provide like
guess
you
the
can
consensus is
go
Drake.
yeah you
Top
can
five,
go like a
top
general
10.
number type
Okay,
shit.
who's higher out of both out of the two?
Well, just like
Or
okay,
just-
so like
Both
for
of
you,
them are top
for
10
you,
for me.
okay, both are top 10.
Yeah.
Is Kendrick top 5?
Yes.
Okay, so Kendrick's top 5, Drake's top 10.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I want to know. All right, Chris Apples, where you at before I go?
Well, since I'm the enemy of the state this time, look, Kendrick.
You really aren't.
Kendrick has been my favorite rapper. He still is. I mean, I have my other people like Mac Miller, God rest his soul. It's like, he's always been my personal like favorite, but Kendrick realistically is I mean, I put them essentially on the same tier in a lot of senses, And at the end of the day, like the ranking doesn't change for me. It's always been that in my head. In my opinion, it's been Kendrick, Drake, Cole, 1, 2, 3. Before the beef, it was that. After the beef, none of that shit changed.
So
It's always kind of just stuck at that point. And to regard the question of where they stand as far as my overall ranking of rappers, I'd say they're definitely both in my top 10, if not both in my top 5, or all three of them are in my top 5 rather than or top 10. There's not much leeway. There's very few people who could come in between any of them in my world that really could cut the line there. You know what I mean? Like they not only, I mean, obviously it's the discussion of this, but I've been a fan of all of them since I was in high school, since Section 80, since fucking Drake I wasn't on until like Nothing Was the Same, which in my opinion is still his best album. And then Kendrick I was on Section 80, Nothing Was the Same, and Cole was I got on him on Cole World. So like, I've been listening to these guys for my stance hasn't really even changed since back then. Like, you know what I mean? Like since I was fucking 15 years old, like this has been.
So this battle didn't change anything.
No, not in the sense of where I rank them if they drop below other people because of that. Do I think that in the sense of the beef itself, is it telling of where where they stand amongst each other? Yeah, for sure. I think that J. Cole created a bigger gap between Kendrick and Drake. I don't think that there is as big of a gap between Kendrick and Drake that was created, really, at the end of the day. I do think that Kendrick was obviously the victor in all of this, but I think he was already the victor. He was already that in my head anyway. So it's like, really, like, yes, is there a gap that J. Cole created there? For sure. It doesn't change my stance on where I rank any of them. It doesn't put anyone above or below anybody else. It's the same ranking I had before, and I think that overall, as far as like fucking the court of public opinion goes, that's essentially what the ranking ended up being anyway, when that was already my thoughts since I've been 15. Like, you know. So that's my tell-all on that. That's where I stand.
So where I'm at is this. I think the battle did cement objectively where I had these two. I had my personal preference of Kendrick over Drake.
All right. Drake is next. Cause I'm about to get the dunking around this bitch.
Yeah, you ain't dunking on me.
I'm talking about Kendrick anyway.
So where it comes to me is this, is that I looked at Kendrick as the better artist. Like, the artistry of his music, I think propelled him above Drake. I think what Drake did was the single charting ability that Kendrick could not do. And I think that both are valuable. Like, I think it's not, people want to dismiss like the person that like makes like hit record after hit record as like, oh, that's easy. It's not easy. It's not easy to continuously put out hits at the rate that Drake did. It's not easy.
Absolutely.
And I don't care how much support you had, how much whatever. At the end of the day, it is not easy for you to put out hit after hit after hit. So I respect Drake for what he does there. I respect Kendrick for the album artistry that he brings every single time. And that I think that Kendrick albums generally, for the most part, smoke a lot of Drake albums because of the artistry, because of the nuance, the intricacy of
cohesive narrative themes.
Yes,
Bro,
of these albums. So I think both things are true. So to me, I looked at it as they were very on, in my opinion, very level playing field. Like I had Kendrick in my top 5. I had Drake in my top 5. So to me, this battle was a decider, and I don't think it's wrong for me to have that opinion of this battle being the decider, because when you are so even, the head-to-head battle has to mean something. I really value what Kendrick does. I really value what Drake does. I think that they were both different artists that equally were successful in the realm that they operated in. So the battle to me was a deciding factor. And I know that a lot of people, that may be the minority, a lot of people may feel like they had their boots in the Kendrick, they had their boots in the Drake opinion. I said when the battle started, I said, I don't know who's gonna win this.
I just hope both teams have fun.
Exactly.
No, I had no idea who was gonna win because I looked at it as like Kendrick, I've never seen him in a battle. Drake came off Pusha T, and I'll be damned if I'm Drake that I'm ever taking the L again.
Because one of the key points of that whole battle situation, the really thing that set Not Like Us apart was that the whole thing that people were scared of, if you were like a Kendrick in the Kendrick camp, was that Drake was going to drop a song that was going to be a hit. It may not have been, it was back to back. I don't care how you felt about Drake versus Meek Mill.
Back to back is a top 5 diss record of all time.
It is a banger. It was being played at stadiums.
So for me, I don't feel like I'm wrong when these two were so even as artists for this battle to decide. That's why I put so much weight in this battle, whoever won. Because to me, they were very much on equal playing field. They both did different things, but they did them extraordinarily. Nobody makes albums like Kendrick. Nobody makes hits like Drake. So I think to me, it was very much an even playing field, and the battle separated it. And that's why I think that, like, to me, Drake was 7th on my list of all-time artists before this battle. Kendrick was 4. And you're talking splitting hairs. Like between 4 and 7? No, listen. I know everybody wants to have their conversation about who's the best. Okay, name to me, like, I want you to actually think about the difference between 4 and 7 on your list. It is very, very minimal.
The difference between 4 and 7?
On your greatest of rappers of all time list.
Shit.
On your greatest rappers of all time list. 4 and 7. There's a very small difference. And that's where I had Kendrick and Drake before this battle. So the battle having the results that it had, I think it was fair. I think it was fair for me to use the battle as the decider, because this was the head-to-head. This was the mano-to-mano. This was the let's prove who's better. And in my opinion, Kendrick obviously won that, and so he proved that to me. So that's where I'm at with it. That's why maybe I put more stock in it in the battle than everybody else in this panel. But the only reason I put that stock in it is because it was that close. Like when Drake won Billboard Artist of the Decade, I didn't argue with it. I wasn't like, oh, Kendrick should have won. Makes sense. Makes sense that Drake won.
Well, that's super objective. Why he should be.
I will say though,
win
like,
the Billboard award when you're always on the Billboard.
When
Not
Family
like a rap
Ties
battle
dropped,
to where like
Literally,
I might like this song more than this song, or this song not as good as
he
that
literally
song.
has the whole thing. I got more slaps than the Beatles. Like that makes sense.
But like Drake, when Drake won that award, I wasn't sitting there like being like, oh, that's an outcry. That's a sham. That's what I'm saying.
I don't even understand why it would be Drake versus Kendrick perspective for the Billboard Awards anyways.
Well, because you're right in the fact that Billboard is like charting, but like Billboard also to be fair with Billboard is they've dropped in the last decade, they've dropped 2 like rankings of like hip hop artists. And Kendrick was number 9 in 2014 or 15. And then in 2022, I think, when they dropped the next one, which was before Drake got the Artist Billboard of the Decade, Kendrick was number 2. So that platform showed love to Kendrick, like, and obviously you know who was number 1, Hov, the GOAT. So if you're telling me Kendrick is the second best artist, but you gave the Billboard award to Drake, like it tells me that you view it the same way I view it, in that it's very, very much subjective. Like Kendrick dropped 3 albums in between 2010 and 2020. Drake dropped like 7.
I don't think it's like subjective though, because I mean, 2014, you ain't got Damn and you ain't got Mr. Morales and Big Steppers, however anybody want to feel about it. But that's another way to move Kendrick up to like, oh yeah, I think Kendrick is from at this point to this point because of these 2 attributes.
Right, but what I'm saying is in both those lists, Kendrick was ranked above. Drake wasn't top 10 in either of those lists.
I know, but I'm saying
by the Billboard.
They're talking about rappers,
but
if it comes to like a Billboard award for somebody who's always on the billboards, like you might think this is the better rapper.
No. I'm not arguing Drake's merit on winning it, but I'm saying there's a hypocrisy in that might be on a Billboard thing, but like there's a hypocrisy in that you give Drake this award, but yet you consistently rank Kendrick over Drake, right? Don't you see that
No,
there's a hypocrisy?
Because Drake is always on the billboards. That's what I'm saying. They might see Kendrick as a better rapper / artist or however they feel, but when it comes to somebody who's
Billboard itself is objective. Like you can't deny.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
just because you can rank
game.
somebody, you can rank somebody subjectively, but objectively,
I mean,
we see that Drake is
Yeah,
on.
no,
I ain't mad
that's
at
a
that.
fair point because the Billboard
Yeah, I ain't mad
rankings
at
are
that.
the people who work at Billboard deciding where their rankings are rather than the people and what the numbers are saying, deciding where these people.
Right.
So Drake being on there for 10 plus years doesn't necessarily equate to the people who work at Billboard, how they feel all the way.
It's also like the old debate they had about Old Town Road. You know, how long was that? That was tied with Shabuzi's A Bar song Tipsy as the longest running number one on the Billboard chart for
ruining that. Fuck Kendrick for ruining that.
No, I'm actually happy about that. But
why?
For me or for him? Oh, I don't because I personally don't like the song.
Oh no, that sounds
great.
bad.
I mean, I don't
but
really,
either
I don't really
way,
like the song either. I like to see a nigga break some records. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, to be fair,
Hey,
he tied it. It's two black guys that tied the record. So
you feel me? He could have broke the record. You know what I'm saying?
They-
now he tied with
another black guy.
an affiliate of his.
Yeah, bro, you gotta shoot back. You gotta shoot back.
I knew you. I was trying to go you into that one.
I'll give you my mic. You gotta shoot back.
Hey, listen, he said it, not me. I'm just.
But my whole point though is,
I'm taking this play.
regardless, then that song came out. Everyone was like, "Yo, this cannot." The Billboard was like, "Hey, this is not a country song. It has country elements, but it's not a country song."
Oh yeah, that was disrespectful.
So
yeah, I do find that disrespectful because in what capacity is it not a country song?
But that's the point though. So Billboard's Artist of the Decade for hip hop, what they consider some Drake songs, they're like, it's the argument going back even as far as like Flo Rida. People got mad at Flo Rida when he first came out, and they're like, this isn't real hip hop. But the second they called him like a pop artist, no one cared. So there is an element of like some of Drake's number one hits, people are not going to consider real hip hop, but at the same time, they played on hip hop radio, they played on urban radio, they played on the pop stations, they played on the, we don't play any rap stations, they played everywhere. So his Billboard status is bigger for him, has always been bigger than just the hip hop realm.
Okay, so
I didn't think about it like that.
The real question is this before we get out of here. The real question is this. Do you think that Drake or Cole hurt their legacy more off of the battle and what happened, and given everything that transpired? Because I know people are dunking on Drake for the lawsuits. People are also obviously have been dunking on Cole for the bowing out. Do you think that what like who looks? I hate to ask such a messy question, but who looks better to you guys given the full context of this beef?
I got it.
Cole, easy. Cole definitely look better right now.
Oh, looks better. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I thought you were saying Cole looks worse. No,
he looks like the more, in a sense, like the more honorable.
Yeah, like
I guess.
kind of like he look like a innocent bystander.
Right. Yeah, he was caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly. He was like, "Listen, I didn't have anything to do with this."
He was the dude at the ATM when that fucking CEO got killed, and he was like, "Oh shit, my bad."
That motherfucker had justice into like, bro. That motherfucker had words written on that.
Cole looked like a deer caught in the headlights, bro. He was like, "What? Wait a minute." Hold on.
And that hurts my soul. Cause
I think Drake really fucked up is engaging back in the beef with no working machine behind him. Like, you ain't really have UMG to actually help you back certain numbers, X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta be more creative.
I'm just saying, like, that's fair.
I'm not saying that.
I'm saying that's why he looked worse. If he would have been in this beef and actually had like
he should have had the better records because you know what that's why I don't fully I'm not saying that you're wrong because I'm not saying that UMG didn't push a certain record.
No, I wouldn't really. I've said that. I'm saying you need a working machine. It ain't got to be about pushing records. You still need a working machine. You need a machine to help you look good on social media. You need a machine to.
He had bots and all that. He had.
I'm done.
He had. He said I'm done with it. No, he had.
I'm done with that.
He had all the tools at his disposal. The difference that happened is that Drake didn't have the better records. Like if Drake had the better records, they would have been shoved down their throat. You're telling me UMG would have had no problem burying Kendrick. You're telling me that UMG
no, they're not
would
burying
have
Kendrick. Hell yeah, they would have had a problem. They would have a problem any idiots to bury for real. But if UMG and Drake having this little situation, I would care less about him when he's he's trying to get a bigger deal. I'm not trying to give him a bigger deal. He might go elsewhere. So it's like, yeah, I'd rather bury this nigga who might not be trying to come back for the negotiation we asking for in comparison to somebody who I'm
not buying that because the way I look at it is I don't think Drake is leaving UMG.
I don't know what he's doing. I'm just saying if that's the case.
I'm telling you, he's not leaving UMG.
Why?
He's gonna work out the deal because he loves the machine, and UMG is too powerful.
Do you think UMG the only machine?
No, they're not. They're not the only machine. They're the best machine
that he's working with. What do you mean?
They're the best machine. So he's gonna stay aligned with it.
They do got the best.
He's gonna stay aligned with it. And if I'm UMG, this is what I've always said from the jump, is that they were promoting the bigger record between the battle. It didn't matter whether it was Kendrick's record that won or Drake's record that won. They were going to promote it because it's all money in their pocket. Yep. They didn't care which artists' names were besmirched. Like Drake, it's not about the fact that Drake has a deal upcoming, so they were trying to devalue him because you know what? If you're re-signing him, guess what you have to do? You have to bring that value up. And so you're not intentionally sabotaging somebody's value that you're gonna resign. You're not doing that.
I do for the most part agree with that, but I definitely do think there's already, but prior to the beef, there was already tension between Lucien and Drake. Yeah.
Yes, there is.
I think that's undeniable.
No, I said this last
Kanye was bringing it up before this beef even fucking happened.
I said this last podcast and nobody listened to me. What I said was y'all don't think it's crazy that Apple announced their Artist of the Year award a month before anybody else, and they gave it to Kendrick. You don't think that's you don't think that Future and Metro talking about that interview, talking about, oh no, me and Drake didn't really have problems. Oh, I should have been offended that I was in the big three. Everything was a deflection in that interview. And then a week later, Drake drops his lawsuit. Kendrick drops his album. Like there's documentation that it has been months in the making of Drake and UMG disputing the issues that are now public. Like there's not, you can't convince me that Kendrick just dropped this album that the label didn't know was dropping off of sheer instinct. You're not telling me that Kendrick woke up on a Friday and said, you know what, this album needs to come out. Exactly. You can't tell me that Drake and or Metro and Future sat down, did an interview, and said we got no problems with Drake a week before the lawsuit happened. Like all of these things correlate. They all mesh to form a simple story.
So you're saying they push like UMG push any record that's of theirs?
No, and UMG would have pushed any record that won. They didn't care. Okay. They knew.
Even if it was Cole.
They knew that Not Like Us. When Not Like Us popped off the rip, they knew that was the one, and that was it. We all knew it. We all very much knew it. In that what was it, like 18 hours before Drake responded with the Hard Part 6? It was like something like that. It was under 24 hours.
Also, one of the best weekends of like hip hop pettiness.
No,
it was on my birthday. I was having the time of my life,
dude. I was.
Remember we were at the hub.
That shit.
Listen to that shit.
That shit.
Me, you, and D'Amico.
Yeah, that shit that shit rocked with me. But I'll say this, like,
sports. Sports bar.
Yeah. But I'll say this when it came to that moment in time is that it was very apparent that, like, unless Drake came back with an absolute, like, perfect response that it was
Not
over.
Like Us was the radio banger that was the death blow.
Right.
Death blow. It was Charged Up, and I go back to the Drake Meek Mill beef. Charged Up was mid. It had its points, but
No, Charged Up was not sweet to me.
Crazy. That
But
shit was
You
so
think
hard.
you think it's sweet?
I love Charged Up when it first came out. I still can listen to Charged Up.
I like in the terms of the battle
That's
what
my
it
kind of
does.
Drake though. I like when Drake get on those type of beats and rap like that.
Yeah.
That's my favorite type of Drake song.
No,
Like,
I like the spacious beats where Drake attacks the empty pockets. I like that.
But I think that it all talks about framing. The fact that back to back, Charged Up was like, yo, man, I don't fuck with you. Back to back was, let me clown you. And let me clown you is gonna win in the court of public opinion. It's gonna win on sporting event. Like back to back is still something that you can hear between timeouts at a basketball game.
I'll tell you this. This is how dirty the music business is. The music business is. If Meek's record of You Wanna Know that talked about Drake getting pissed on and all this shit, if that would have caught fire, the record would have put money behind that.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't. Because you know what? One was Back to Back, and it's a better song. I'm not arguing that. Back to Back is a top 5 diss record of all time. I love that.
We can go back and forth on because I know that's.
But that's my point. Is that the record
label
labels are gonna support the records
Yeah.
that make them money.
Meek took too
Not
long
like
to
us
respond.
made them money.
Meek Mill had the more aggressive, actual things to talk about, but he didn't package it well. He took too long to respond, and by that point,
They don't care about culture.
Back to Back was already had a foothold in the.
They don't care.
Foothold.
They don't care about culture. They care about money.
They do.
That's
but-
all.
but
That's all
what
they
I'm saying.
do.
It's timing is everything. The fact that when Drake dropped Family Matters and with the video and thought that was a knockout blow, and Kendrick came back right away.
Everybody thought.
And what I want to tell you is this: is that I've said it before, but I'll say it again just because I gotta give my dog Drake some credit. There is not more than I don't know. The list gets shorter and shorter. The way I think about how many rappers would have survived push-ups to Family Matters the way Kendrick did. I honestly I thought about it okay, there's 5. There's Kendrick, there's Jay, there's M, there's whatever. I honestly, the more I sit with it, I really only think that the only person that ever would have survived that blow is Kendrick. I really think that what Drake did, and this is a credit to Drake, I don't know what rapper beats push-ups to Family Matters other than Kendrick. I really don't.
I think timing.
I'm open to hearing names.
But I don't think it's about that. I think it's the fact that Kendrick kind of anticipated it, and Kendrick had the timing, so he squashed on Family Matters by dropping away.
No, he did. Yeah, he did. Obviously,
and if Meek Mill dropped "Wanna Know," I still don't think
right after Back to Back.
I don't think it would have been as big. I think Back to Back would have still won out 100% because it's just
because he had to have the record that followed up.
Yeah, but the fact that Meek Mill took almost 2.5 weeks to drop that song, it was over. It was already over. If Kendrick had waited 2.5 weeks to drop "Meet the Grams."
Yeah, that wouldn't have sat well.
It wouldn't have sat well.
I agree.
Drake would have controlled the narrative. I think that when it comes to hip
That's what I'm
hop,
saying.
we're not talking about 90s anymore. When someone drops, you better be either in the booth ready to go or have like Kendrick say, how many do I got in stock? Yeah. I'm ready to, when you drop, I'm drop.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm taking you to hell with me.
I really don't think, and I'm not trying to have this conversation. I guess if you guys have names, I'll entertain it. But I truly, the list gets shorter and shorter every day. I think about how many people would have survived push-ups in Family Matters. I
think Pusha T may have been one of the few that was.
I don't think Pusha would have survived it.
I don't think he had another.
I think that's where Drake fucked up in the push beef. Is that he didn't come with the hit.
I think that Pusha had some more in the heat of form.
Oh, I think so too.
I don't think so.
And that's why I want. No,
I think he might have had some more diss songs in the tuck, but I don't think they would have hit as hard as the first one.
No, that Story of Adidon was his
Right.
It
wasn't going to hit like Story of
I agree.
Adidon. And if he would have kept going back and forth with Drake, like, bro, Duppy freestyle
I agree.
was crazy.
I agree with that.
If you really look at Duppy freestyle, like, it was really
Duppy is fire. But what I want to say is,
but I will give Duppy the one thing though, and I know he's like, because Duppy freestyle is like, yeah, let's turn about Kanye, the man who's your boss, who we now know that Pusha really don't fuck with. I think Duppy freestyle could have gone way further if Drake would have had more shit to do just that push. I think by going at Kanye, he's like, yo, I don't give a fuck about what you want to say about Kanye. I'm coming at you. Not Wayne, not Nicki, not Birdman. Even though, Pusha had his own thing with Birdman, I'm coming at you. And I think that's what helps
You're going to throw people around the person that you beefing with.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Party at the party.
One name.
Right.
Playing with his nose now. Baka got a weird case while he around. Like,
those
that's
are-
just what happened.
But those are one or two lines.
No,
But
that's
Duppy-
those two
Duppy-
lines. He did a few lines about different people that's around OVO. So it's like,
But yeah, but
it's
I'm
like the
saying,
same thing.
Duppy,
He was just, the
half
only thing
of
was
Duppy was about Kanye.
yeah, but it's like just think of Kanye as 5 different people. It's really the same thing.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like the same
different
thing.
for each Kanye.
It's like the same thing.
Is this Monday Kanye, Wednesday Kanye, Pesky Day Kanye?
Listen, man. I love the big three battle, and I think that's gonna be something that we'll continue to see throughout 2025.
To my dismay, this is not the last time we're going to be talking about it.
I don't think so.
And
I do love the discussion, but God, we didn't even talk about Smino's album today.
Yeah, nah, fuck
Go play that shit. What?
Hey, we gonna talk about next pod. Yeah,
talking
we're
about
gonna
the big
talk about
three.
next pod. But
You know what I'm saying?
But listen. Before I get out of here, I just gotta highlight a new thing, a lot of things. Next week is gonna be our final episode of the podcast for the year. We're gonna sit down. We're gonna do our MVPs. We're gonna do our top albums of the year. We're gonna do all that shit. We're gonna get into that. And then also, I want to shout out Doechii because
Please do.
that fucking Tiny Desk that dropped today.
Fire.
I just I've been calling it for years. I don't know why people sleep on what I say, but like Doechii that's it. How many female rappers you think are gonna be better than Doechii when it's all said and done?
None.
What? Nigga,
Better
don't act
than
like
Doechii?
Nicki Minaj is not still alive.
Are you freaking
Oh,
kidding me?
she don't hold a candle to Doechii
She
or Doja
cannot
Cat,
touch
honestly.
Doechii. Are you kidding
Or
me?
Doja Cat, honestly.
I'm not talking right now. I'm not
Y'all,
talking.
this artistry shit really be killing me.
I'm
I
not-
swear to God.
I'm not talking.
Bro, Nicki's last album was fucking bullshit. It
Bro,
sucked.
okay, so we gonna see how Doechii do 10 years from now and then judge her album. Bet.
I agree.
Like, what the
I
fuck?
agree with
Nicki
that.
old as shit now. Like,
I
It
agree.
don't matter.
I agree with
If
that.
we're
it do matter.
No,
I
if
agree
we're
with
talking
that.
about
I
10
agree
years
with
That's
that.
ago,
like
Hey,
saying
I agree
Nas.
with
I know
that.
you agree with it. I'm talking now.
Real Twizzlers
No, that's like
shit.
saying Nas ain't shit compared to Kendrick now or some shit like that. Like,
Nas has gotten better with age.
I mean, Kendrick is
Some
better
may
than
say that.
Nas, but
No, I mean, yeah, if you want to talk about Pink Friday, which came out fucking 14 years ago, then yeah, no, that's a great album. But right now, Nicki is not at the top.
I'm not saying.
No,
Bro,
no,
he said that who's gonna be a better artist
yes.
than Nick? Than
Yes, that's
Doechii?
what
Better
I said.
female
As
rapper.
a
And I-
totality,
and
I don't know. As
totality.
a totality, I don't know.
and let the
Yeah.
record
My
let
bad.
the,
I may have misread it, but
let
right
the
now,
record
no.
show. Let the record show that I know Lauryn Hill exists.
Lauryn
I said
Hill
what I
exists,
said.
MC Light exists, motherfucking
Missy exists.
MC
Rhapsody,
Light,
motherfucking
MC
Trina,
Light,
motherfucking Lil Kim,
Remy
Foxy
Ma.
Brown even.
Foxy. I understand all those names exist.
Okay, well,
I'm saying what I'm saying. I'm not saying she is. I'm saying that she is in that rarefied air where I believe that when Doechii is said and done, she is going to be
I have,
in that conversation.
I have the faith in her, but I think with the way you said it, you can start a whole nother debate section. I have faith in her.
Listen, I'm all for getting the
finish.
women to fight each other, but like I'm looking at it from a pure objective standpoint. I think Doechii has
I think she has all the potential in the world to claim the spot. I'm not gonna give it to her right now. As much as I love, I've been following her.
I'm biased
since
as hell.
Yeah, I said it years ago, and she's Grammy nominated now, and she's performing at NPR Tiny Desk, and she's killing it. And she's doing all these other things, and it's okay. It's okay to jump on the train a little late. We're still boarding, but I'm like, when I look at her, like, no, like she's got the capabilities of being one of them ones. So I'm excited to see what she does. So if you haven't, check out her Tiny Desk concert. Happy birthday, Hove! Happy birthday, Hove! December 4th. You ain't do nothing for it.
I wish you happy Hove Day in the group chat.
Bro, did you see when I replied?
You was sleeping?
Bro, I woke up and replied to that shit. It was like 3 a.m. Them edibles, man.
That's crazy. That's
staying away from that.
Hey, them edibles ain't no hoe, man.
I'm gonna take one as soon as I get home.
It ain't like smoking the wood. It's different.
Yeah,
it's a different
straight.
experience.
I'm straight on them, dog.
Hey, Roddy.
Really? That's all
super
I do,
straight
bro.
on them.
Roddy Rich got offered $50K for his Grammy because he got extorted for that.
Good.
Would you pay $50K for a Grammy?
Damn.
For $50K, I can just make my own.
That's what I'm saying.
For $50K, I can just make my own.
For $7K, I can make the nice trophy you've ever seen.
Right, because the names still reign in the record books. I don't need to have the physical award to make it true.
That's true. I'm with him on that.
Listen, I know Lauryn Hill, Nicki Minaj, Missy Elliott exists, but I'm telling you, Doechie's one of them ones. I don't want to get too off topic of it, but shout out to Hove. It's his birthday. Next week, last podcast of the year. We have more content coming beyond next week, but next week is the last week of the Rap Cave podcast. So we're going to be wrapping up with MVP awards. We're top albums of the year, our Spotify, our Apple Music, rap, whatever you prefer. We're going to be getting into all of that next week, plus more. So thank you. Please comment, share, like, subscribe, help the channel grow. I'm with my dogs.
Before we leave, hey, listen, if y'all out here watching that, I want y'all to pay attention to the question. He dodged 2 questions today. I want y'all to pay attention.
What I dodge? I'll answer it right now. We'll go overboard.
It was a whole conversation that was about to happen.
No, we'll go overboard.
But
I got minutes.
But we completely skipped how everybody felt about Drake after the beef for sure. Because I was about to get the dunking on Kendrick for 100%. 110%. I was prepared for that.
Yeah, we did. But I feel like we discussed Drake enough. If you wanna open the floor.
Nah, it's over. Nah, I don't even want to do it no more. It ain't even that type of mode no more. I was in the mode. I'm back out. And what else?
It's your fault for
not liking it. About that lame ass shit Kendrick was doing. He definitely dodged that. We'll watch it back and we'll see. He definitely dodged that. The didn't answer the phone, but supposedly got a track waiting for Wayne type shit. I was trying to get into that, but it's all good. It's all good.
Keys, bro. You got time?
It's all good. It's all good. I don't know.
You got it, Mike.
Come on.
I don't
Give me something, bro. Give me a little summary.
I don't think I should. You know what I'm saying?
No. Let him.
I'm not doing it now.
Yeah.
I wanted to do it while we was talking about it. It's not even the same no more.
Well, you know what? How about
It's not even the same. How about this?
No,
I'll just bring it up and just me talking. Like, is we about to have a whole discussion on it now? We about to extend the pod?
How about this? If y'all have me, I'm happy to come back again and chop it up on that.
Oh, you gonna be back?
You
ain't gotta worry about that.
The next time this panel is here, we're gonna we dive it right back.
Part
in,
2.
For sure.
Get ready for part 2.
Part two.
This is a good panel right here.
Everybody have a good, fun, safe weekend. Do everything that I wouldn't do this weekend, but be safe, be responsible, be smart.
Why y'all shooting at him for?
I'll see y'all. I'm with my dogs. Shout out everybody that's in the studio. Shout out everybody that's off cam. I appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all beautiful.
Love y'all, man.
I'll see y'all next week.
Subscribe.
Peace. Last episode of the Rap Cave podcast next week.
Let's go.